All right. Hopefully everybody's having a good morning. Looks like we're hopping today. Good morning, JD. Good morning, Benedict Herweg. And thank you to Raghavendra. Probably butchering your name. Sorry, bro. Thank you for joining, though. Let's get started. Today is full of data. We've got China economic data from last night. We've got Japanese economic data from yesterday afternoon. We've got some data coming in for the United States today. We also potentially have Powell that I'll be doing a live stream with around 1 o'clock today, probably just a hair before that Central Time. And we've got a potential strike over at the Southern Port in Texas, I believe. And it sounds like the impact from that, I think it will be a non event and it might get resolved by Tuesday. But that's hanging over us. And then we have a hurricane that cost at least $100 billion, it sounds like from initial estimates, and just a whole bunch more going on today. So it's going to be very impactful. I've got CNBC playing in the bottom corner. If I see anything that comes up that's interesting, I'll definitely let you know about it. There was a clip earlier in regard to that port closure, so we might want to look at that here too. But there's just a lot going on today. Good morning, David Parketney, Danny, Victor. What's up, guys? Kamawa. Morning, Jesse, with the ETFs coming in. How long do you see the BTC bearish cycle being in late 2025 and 2026? I don't know, man. There's so much distance between now and then. Depends on how quick we go up. I put out a lot of good data points for Bitcoin today. We'll go over some of that this morning as well. But without further ado, let's start with the shit show that is China. So, again, a number of metrics last night, okay? The official MBS non-manufacturing PMI data in China is in contraction still. And if you look here, guys, look at 2008 great financial crisis that bled into like late 2008 for them before they started to recover. Look at what's happened since the pandemic. Just look at this chart. For all these people that are buying into China right now, I hope you guys are very short term in your thinking. I hope you're very, very short term, because the pain that you're going to feel when this thing continues to roll over is going to be dramatic. So this non-manufacturing data came in worse than expected. Let's just read through it here. It says the official number in China was at 50. That's technically flatlined, down from a previous 50.3 in the previous month. The latest figure was below market estimates of 50.4, pointing to the lowest level since December of 2022. New orders, 44.2 versus 46.3 in August. So again, lower. New export orders, 47 versus 47.6. Employment, 44.7 versus 45.2. All fell at steeper rates. Additionally, delivery times lengthened, 50.2 versus 50.6. On the price side, input costs decreased for the sixth time this year to 48.2 versus 48.6. Meanwhile, selling prices declined for the 12th consecutive month, with the contraction being the steepest in the sequence, 46.1 versus 47.2. Finally, business sentiment softened further, though it remained relatively high at 54.4 versus 55.3. I don't even know if you could call that relatively high. This is not good data points coming out of China. There's a lot more than this, too. Let's just scroll up here and look at the rest. All right, let me see where we at. Down. Let me scroll down because I'm looking at last week. And again, retail sales data in Japan, I went over this a little bit yesterday. It looks good. Industrial production, though, is down, worse than expected. But the Japanese markets were taking a hit. Last time I looked, they were down 4%. I don't know what they're at today. But this wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. But again, and if we look at the NBS manufacturing PMI, we can see that in contraction at 49.8. Came in slightly better than expected. 49.4 forecast, 49.5 consensus. So this area shows a little bit of hope. If we click on it, it says the official, and if we go out here a ways, the one thing I want to note is just look at this. Going back to 2006, you could see how this economy is in further and further decline, like every 5-10 years. Look at this. This was great going up to 2008. They were just prospering so much. Then they bounced back, but it went into decline into 2012. It's been meandering. Then 2020 happened. It fell off a cliff. Got to bounce back. Bounce back was barely into expansion. And now they're just suffering at the worst levels we've ever seen them at for the longest time frame ever. So again, just not great data points here, guys, for China. They're going to need to stimulate a lot more just to keep their heads above water. The thing I do like, though, is some of the stuff that you can see in here is the price declines that they were talking about. We like price declines because, like I've said many times, this is them exporting deflation to the rest of the world, and we like exported deflation to the rest of the world. So this is that part, at least, is very promising. All right, let me real quickly just keep scrolling down here. It says NBS General PMI, 50 for forecast, 50.4 is what came in. So this was slightly better than expected. Let's just read through it here. Let's also look at the big term view. Again, this only goes back to about 2017. Not a lot of data here, but again, if you just look at pre-pandemic versus after, it's chaotic. And if you take out some of these anomalies to either side, it's just not a good trend at all. Let's look here. China's NBS composite PMI output index rose to 50.4 in September of 2024. That's slightly into expansion, up from 50.1 in August, making the highest figure since June. Just remember all the stimulus and all the things that we're doing to try and help the economy. This improvement came ahead of the Golden Week holiday in the first week of October. This is why they were doing all the stimulus. They didn't want people super depressed heading into a national holiday, because national holidays there, everybody celebrates, everybody goes out at once. That's how vacations work, especially with the poor. They don't go like, hey, let's take this next week off. They work their asses off in China, and then they take holidays when everybody else is, which is kind of a clusterfuck. Because can you imagine, like, just only really having time off when everybody else has time off, unless you're really rich and an elite in China, and then just having everything be busy, huge lines everywhere you go? It's a nightmare. Anyway, with factory activity contracting more slowly while the services sector stagnated, that's going to be fun. China's statistics agency noted that overall economic sentiment improved last month as Beijing continued its efforts to support a fragile recovery and persistently weak consumption. Disinflation risks and ongoing property market weakness. Last week, the Chinese central bank intensified efforts to bolster the economy by cutting several key interest rates, including the reserve requirement ratio, the RRR, for banks and short-term rates. Meanwhile, top Chinese leaders led by President Xi Jinping, our dictator, called for an end to the prosperity market decline and he called for an end of it. I guess that'll fix it. I love dictators. And pledged to strengthen fiscal and monetary policy to secure the 2024 GDP growth rate around 5%. It is nowhere fucking close to 5%. You got to remember, China got rid of like 94% of their economic data since the pandemic. This is mostly bullshit. I'm pretty sure it's worse than this. So these are just the numbers they're publishing. Value Maxi says, smash the like. I agree with Value Maxi. Let's keep reading in comments here real quick, too, while we get through the rest of this data. And then, again, we've got tons to talk about, guys. I'm really amped up about Tesla. I'm really amped up about Bitcoin. There might be people down because markets are down today. Maybe there's some opportunities. MicroStrategy's down 5% in pre-market. That, I've been wanting to enter that. Maybe it's time for an MSTX play. I don't know. We got to figure it out. But let's keep going here. Let's look here. So, morning, Jesse, with the ETFs. Oh, we did that one. Akash says, good morning. Michael Quinn, morning, Jesse. Victor, I want to give a tip. I work for ArcelorMittal Steel Industries. Okay. Hey, Jesse and all. We in Europe are suffering. Oh, yeah, dude, I'm sure. China, yeah, I have no doubt that you guys are. So, Victor said, we're in Europe, we're suffering from Chinese dumping prices. I believe that. You have, especially like parts of Germany, I don't know where you are, Victor, you're so heavily dependent on China for your relationship. It was the whole like, build relationships with China. It's all going to be good. What could go wrong by building a relationship with a communist dictator that idolizes Mao and wants to replace him and turn into him? It's just not great. You're in Spain. Okay, well, Spain has its own set of problems. I mean, all of Europe does. All of Europe does. So I get it, man, and I feel your guys' pain. It sucks. For the U.S., though, we don't have that dependency. Over 60% of our economy is service-based, and we have been separating ties from China for a very long time. So do we have companies impacted? Yes. But again, with the stuff Biden's looking at doing, tariffing the shit on top of everything Trump put in place and that didn't get removed, we're a lot more well insulated over here, and there are parts of Southeast Asia and Central America and South America India that are benefiting from China's demise as long as it's slow. And so we're trying to help them stay afloat. And we'll probably continue to do that, I think, for at least another year or two, until it's just too late. And so I could see, again, I feel bad for Europe, but it's like Europe has made so many bad decisions. I think there needs to be some suffering so that there's accountability and better leadership. That just is what it is. I'm hoping we don't turn into Europe in 5 weeks. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, it is what it is. We just have to roll with it, right, guys? Value Maxi, hey, Jesse and all. Smash the like, smashed. Hey, Chris is smashing it. Yes. Peter, hey, all. Value Maxi, Chris DeSantis, nice. Kaolan Baron, hopefully I got that right. MSTR calls. I'm lazy. I'm probably going to do MSTX. It's a 1.75x. It's down what? Somebody said 9%. Value Maxi said 9% on the day. If we get a pop in Tesla or the calls continue to run, and we got to look at that Tesla chart, guys. Looks so fucking good. I think so many things are lining up right now. I'm so excited. Tesla will be a big focus today along with Bitcoin. Let's keep going here, though. Victor, read the previous comment. I'm in Spain. Value Maxi, MSTX down 9% pre-market by the dip. Agreed. Victor, haha. Akash, we are fucked in Spain. Really fucked. Yeah, no, I believe you guys. You don't have to convince me. All right. JD says, we got Junkrat saying cheers, Jesse, or cheers, JD. Andy, we'll just throw me in there too. JD, soon Optimus will be making coffee. Fuck yeah. He also said, cheers. Junkrat said, my Roomba still makes me happy, lol. So I'm sure Optimus will be better. Yeah, it'll be mind blowing. JD's talking about MSTR calls too. And then Value Maxi said, I have a friend that moved from Spain to Argentina for love. She doesn't even realize it, but she made a great economic move. I'm sure she did. Yeah. She's gonna love the fucking country. Like we did that video yesterday, and I think Argentina is huge. Plus, I just did another post yesterday where Javier Milei now is looking to remove the government airlines. I didn't know their government was running their airlines, but he's looking to privatize it and sell it off. And I think that's fucking brilliant. Again, if he gets a mandate in this next election in 2027, if he gets a strong mandate and has all the power he needs, Argentina could be one of the best places on earth. It could just grow and grow and grow. Even if there's wider issues around the world, Argentina could continue to prosper. Why MSTX over MSTR calls? I'm lazy. That's probably it. Tesla Bull. Looking forward to seeing what Tesla does this week. That Head and Shoulders looks promising. I agree. Amit Shokin, thought about Visa Google call for. Thought about Visa Google call for January 26th. Are you talking about like calls for Visa and Google for January 2026? I'm not a big fan of Google, man. I think they've got a lot of fundamental issues, so I'm not huge on that. All right, I'm going to keep rolling here. We'll get into stock stuff more a little bit later, but let's keep rolling on here. So the Kaizen manufacturing PMI showed a 49.3, expected 50.1 for forecast and 50.5 for consensus, but they went into contraction. Let's just pull out the big chart here. Again, these numbers are not great, even though you can see with this one that we had similar problems back 2012 to 2016. So really, it's just kind of within the norm of depression for the Kaizen general manufacturing PMI. But again, you can only have so much contraction until things start to get really bad. And again, jobs are just diminishing all over China. Anthony, thank you for signing up, my friend. It says the Kaizen General Manufacturing PMI fell to 49.3 in September of 2024 from August 50.4, missing market forecast of 50.5, and pointing to the lowest level since July of 2023. There was a renewed downturn in new orders. That sucks, which hit their lowest in 2 years. That sucks. Meanwhile, foreign sales fell the most in 13 months. That sucks. Due to subdued market conditions, also employment shrank. Wow. With backlogs of work falling for the first time in 7 months. All of this is shit. Further purchasing levels dropped amid reduced new work inflows. That said, output rose marginally, with growth hitting its slowest in the current sequence of rise. So you got output growing modestly, but nobody wants your shit. You're laying people off. New orders are plummeting to horrific levels not seen in 2 years, and foreign sales are down 13 months. This all sucks, guys. The only good thing here, on price inputs fell for the most in 15 months. That's good for exporting deflation to the world, which is what I want. Due to lower raw material costs. That's great. While output prices shrank at the fastest pace in 6 months. So they're, again, exporting deflation to the world. We like that. It says linked to efforts to boost sales as competition intensified. They're dumping. They're dumping into the world markets in fucking countries like Spain, Germany, and all over Europe. So not great for China. Not great for China at all. Anthony said, I'm back. What's up, Jesse? Good morning to you. Well, now with Malay, Saved by the Bell. Yeah, Malay is awesome. I'm a huge fan of Javier Malay. I really am. All right, let's keep going here. They're showing the damage in, God, on the East Coast, man. It is so fucking bad. Anyway, Kaizen Services PMI was 50.3, came in lower than expected for 51.3 forecast and 51.5 consensus. Just everything is doom and gloom in China, man. Look at this. Look at what happened before. So look at going back to 2012. Look at where we were. They were kind of like mostly in expansion. And now, like, this has just not been good. Outside of a couple of little blip bounces, it looks like it's just getting ready to roll over again. So Services says the Kaizen China's General Services PMI slipped to 50.3 in September 2024 from 51.6 in the previous month. Below market forecast of 51.5. It was the lowest figure since September of 2023. That sucks. As new orders expanded at the softest pace in near a year, despite solid expansion of export business. Not great. Meanwhile, employment returned to growth. That's probably good, albeit only marginally. At the same time, backlogs increased for the second month as a result of rising new work inflows. So that actually sounds good for services. What are the new work inflows? On the cost side, input prices increased, so service prices increasing. That's not too different from what we've seen here in the States, with the rate of inflation above the series average to the highest in almost 2.5 years, on a higher input material and labor and energy costs. Interesting. So all their service-based stuff is getting more expensive, even though they have a really low service-based economy. It's like a fraction of the United States. And yet all of their manufacturing, like export business, is shrinking. That's not great. That's where all their revenue comes in. However, output prices fell for a second month. So again, output is still falling in services too. So this is so bad. So their inputs are going up in services, but their output prices are going down. So margins are shrinking. This is the fourth time that selling prices have declined in the past 3 years due to attempts to support sales. Lastly, confidence weakened to the lowest. Man, China's headed towards a depression. People investing in this shit are just fucking stupid. Or very short-sighted and just trying to make a buck. One of the two. You're either a really savvy trader or you're a fucking idiot. Again, the composite is just a makeup of the other two. Not a great number. So China, guys, not looking great. In the United States, or I'm sorry, in Japan, and I'm looking at the biggest markets that we have out there, guys. The reason I'm doing that is I want to be able to have a better idea of the largest economies in the world that produce the most GDP. How are they doing? We know China is a shit show. They're exporting deflation to the world. How is Japan doing? Let's take a look. Housing starts year over year. Let's see what we were supposed to get. We were supposed to get -2 or -3. We got -5.1, so worse than expected. Japan's housing starts declined by 5.1%, much steeper than the 0.2% fall in the previous month and worse than market expectations of a 3% drop. So Japan, not doing super good either. But if we go back here, I mean, back to the 80s, this isn't great, but I mean, look at this, like 1990, 2000. The property market in Japan, well before the 2008 financial crisis, has just been a fucking mess. It doesn't look much worse than the historical trend. Maybe it's not getting as high, but it's just not great, period. So we can probably gloss over that and be like, it's kind of normal. All right, forecast for construction orders year over year in August was 8.7, whereas forecast was 5.3. So this is interesting. Construction orders in Japan increased 8.7% in August over the same month in the previous year. Construction orders in Japan averaged 2.68% from 1985 until 2024. So 2.68% on average for a very, very long, going back to the mid-'80s. And yet we just got 8.7, and the previous month was 62.8. if you add up like going back to March here, this is actually a lot of construction. So this is a good number. This is well above average. So we like that. All right, so what are we going to see in the States? At 8:45, roughly an hour and 20 minutes from now, we will see the Chicago PMI. That'll be an interesting figure. We'll get the Dallas Fed at 9:30, and then it's a big long leap until the Fed share. So probably after the 9:30, if there's nothing coming up, I'll be bailing out here, and we'll call it good. Maybe I should include Germany in here too. They've got a large GDP for Europe. Whatever. We can look some other time. We got stuff going on. We got things to do. Let's keep moving. One thing that's fascinating is the month is still really good on shitcoins, even though Bitcoin took a 3% hit earlier. We still don't really see a lot of damage on the Bitcoin or on the crypto front. And if we go back here, let me actually move some stuff. I got like 20 drinks sitting in front of me. Let's actually look at Bitcoin real fast. I'll just blow up my other screens here. And again, I posted earlier that I actually like this setup. And I'll just show you why. Let's go over here. So a bunch of things, right? A bunch of things. One, Bitcoin Archive posted gold breaking new all-time highs every week. Again, kind of a precursor. It's the oldest, biggest kahuna, largest cap. I say this all the time. Largest caps move first. It's the old legacy system, store of value that's been used for thousands of years. So that's good. US, Europe, and China cutting rates. That's good. China in full sin mode. I mean, they're trying. We'll see what actually happens and how long it lasts. The dollar about to fall under 100 for the second time in 2 years. I agree. That's getting ready to happen. It's bullish as fuck. Let's go down here. Breaking. Taiwan's Financial Supervisory Commission has announced that professional investors can now access Bitcoin ETFs under specific regulations and oversight. This is progress for Taiwan. My buddy Miles posted, what's intriguing right now is that the BTC is actually dumping harder than alt. See BTC dominance chart below. And I showed my own somewhere around here. I think I threw it into his. I put this one, and I said, yeah, I agree. We're also seeing, I put we're also, I mean, he literally said that. I didn't do a good job reading it. Is coming in line after breaking above key resistance for the last few months. So this is good. This is a trend line that goes all the way back to 2015, 14, technically, data over here, showing how Bitcoin dominance when the market really kicks off goes into decline. And then when the bear kicks in, it comes back. And then it gets back up kind of at the beginning of the bull, and then the bear kicks in and it goes, and then the altcoin market kicks in and Bitcoin dominance goes all the way down until the bear kicks in, and then the bull market, and then it goes back up again. And so we've reached that point where it's like, okay, we've been at the tippity top of the BTC dominance, and I've been saying for a while, I think what is likely to happen is potentially a rejection where we start to see altcoins lead. That would be a good sign for markets, and I think that's what's getting ready to happen. So I like that. Also, I posted this showing the weekly candle and the monthly. The weekly close perfectly above the key fib level. Now, sure, we've fallen back down, but let's zoom out a little bit and put it in fucking perspective. This is 63,800. I think right now we're not too far from that. We're at 63,821 or 820, whatever, something. Fuck it, who knows? But if we look over here, again, this is a great place to close tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time. If this is what happens today, people might be losing their mind. I'm buying fucking MSTX, especially if Tesla can bounce today. We're in a good place. I also posted this. It's got 50 of the best Bitcoin clips. I recommend you look at it. These are quick ones from some of the most brilliant people in the space telling you why you should own Bitcoin. It's good stuff. I also posted this 21 hours ago. It says the best historical performance for Bitcoin after the halving is sitting right in front of us if you go back to 2012. This was shared via Tezos86 in our Discord. Thank you very much, sir. Our Discord kicks ass. I love how much you guys were able to figure out from CleanSpark about concerns, and it looks like some of those might be mitigated and okay, but I love how we were the first movers. Fucking kick ass. My buddy, Titan of Crypto, says, Bitcoin green light. And then I'll get to chat, guys. Bitcoin green light for the next major move. Confluences are aligning. This is all great. Let's see what indicators, if I can determine what indicators he has. I'm not even sure what they are. Doesn't matter. I trust him. I wish he'd show them. But I do agree. Confluences are aligning. If you look at RSI, MACD, all this stuff, it looks good. Also, this week is the $16 billion distribution of FTX. This is a big deal. Bitcoin ETF inflows were 18.3 billion. And now a bunch of crypto bros that got fucked with altcoins and FTX and all these, and Luna and Voyager and just all these shitty exchanges that fucked them, Celsius, a bunch of them. They just got their money back. Look at Mt. Gox. Mt. Gox was 8.8 billion, and those people got paid back in like with Bitcoin. And so that was like one of those things where it was a selling pressure thing. German government sold 3.5 billion. Michael Saylor has been averaging a buy of 0.2 billion. This is 16 billion that's going to be opening up and coming into the markets. I'm optimistic about that. My buddy Luke said, less than 500,000 people will be multi-coiners. 1 in 20,000 humans in a couple of decades will most likely have one or more Bitcoin. 1 in 20,000. Are you one of those 1 in 20,000? I hope so. Also, if we look at technological innovation in regard to cell phones and compare that to Bitcoin, we're right here. I remember that phone. Just barely. It's fucking crazy. My dad had one like this bottom one, except it had a cord and it was in his car, and he had this big briefcase that was like the battery and transmission system. I don't even know how much that cost. It was probably fucking insane. And then again, on the 28th, we got BTC or Bitcoin ETF inflows are back. This time, no offsetting GPCC outflows. So we're seeing some historic inflows that we haven't seen since July. And again, outside of that, the other best time was in June. And then before that, it was April. But again, we had offsetting GBTC outflows. So really, if you do the math, these are some of the best inflows we've ever fucking seen. Interesting. Maybe. I don't know. There's so many fucking things. Let's take a break on Bitcoin and get caught up with chat. This is a fucking insane day, guys. You should not be fretting at all right now. That is not the right attitude. Market opens up in an hour. Let's get caught up with chat while we stare at some Bitcoin chart here for a second. Okay? All right, JD, do we think the Optimus bot will cost $100,000 or will it be more? Plans are, I think they said 20,000? It's a lot cheaper than a car. I think they said 15, but I'd say probably 25. It's so much easier to build than a car. So it's going to be way less than $100,000. All these other, like Figure AI and all these other fucking douchebag wannabe robot companies, they aren't going to be able to fucking remotely compare with Tesla. It's just the facts. It's how things work. Ooh, hey, let me see. Is that Liz from SoFi? I love her. I don't always agree with her, but she's cool. I'm going to go back here real quick. After we get done, I'm going to probably dump this. Let me do one thing, guys. I'm going to grab her, and I'm going to dump her over here. Just going to dump her right here, and then see what happens.
Of internal strength.
Ah, cool. She's there. All right, I'm just going to back up the truck. I just want to see what she has to say. I don't always agree. She was very bearish on the market when I was not, and that's turned out better for me. But I do like hearing other viewpoints, so we'll bring that up here in a second. Anyway, back to work, back in chat. Akash 2000, do you think we may see a new 52-week low on BTC? No, fuck no. No fucking way, bro. Soaring Shitty, I love that name. Never mind, it was China. Manny247, Jesse, how do you think this affects Tesla? I think Tesla is vital for China. I think Tesla is vital for China. I don't think China is vital for Tesla because Tesla can export to the rest of the world. And there's so much going on. Like, again, I've said this a bunch of times. I probably need to show more stats, guys. Oh, I should probably fix that little error. I should probably show more stats. So the rest of the auto sector, including China, is getting fucking destroyed right now. And yet we're seeing, let me just pull it up here real quick. Let me see if I can find it. Layoffs. Here we go. Let's look at Tesla, China. Let's look at inventories, not just China, but around the world for Tesla. Let's just refresh this. So inventories around the world, look at this. They're falling off a cliff. Look at the Model 3. They can't keep those things in stock. This is the entire world's inventory. If you compare this to a legacy automaker, and I've got great stuff on Tesla today, guys. So much fucking great stuff on Tesla. So stick around for that. But if you looked at these inventories, they don't have the Cybertruck on here yet, but if you look at the S, if you look at the X, if you look at the 3, if you look at the Y, and the Cybertruck's probably not on here because there literally is no inventory. They get the thing built, somebody fucking picks it up. This is insane. We're reaching like really good inventory levels. Really good inventory levels for Tesla. And everybody had so much fear when these things were climbing, and now they're falling off of a cliff. So Tesla is doing way better than the rest of the world when it comes to auto. And it's because of full self-driving. Take rates are increasing. Everybody's starting. I'm riding around in my car, guys, and I'm putting my hands like this. And I'm riding around like this in my fucking car. And people are looking at me like, is that guy insane? How is he doing that? And I do it for shits and giggles. I just want them to think that. I want them to be like, what the fuck is that insane asshole doing? Because every time people see that, they realize that things are getting better. And we got so much to talk about on Tesla. I'm going to divert away from that for a second, but I'm so excited about Tesla right now, guys. And Bitcoin. I'm so excited about both. But I hope Bitcoin drops because I want to be able to buy some MSTX. I've been out of shape that I didn't get to the other day. This is my opportunity. Mitch Shokeen, I think India has strong growth. Invested in India, which has been great. Just sharing. Oh, yeah, no, I agree. India is great. I actually think the better bet, though, is ARGT, which is Argentina. I did a little bit of a post about this the other day. I actually did a video about it. And then I did some posts, too, that were subscriber only. And I think Javier Milei is gaining a mandate. If you look right here, he's getting rid of the state-owned Argentinian airline. It's state-owned. How retarded is that? And privatizing it. That's a brilliant move. I created this video right here for subscribers only, but without going into all the details, I just want to show you this. Right here, look at Argentina's, like, one fund. $400 million in AUM, assets under management. And look at just some of the top funds for India, China first and India next. These are the top funds, right? There are more. But look at the dollar amounts that are sitting inside of these things and then compare that to what we're looking at for Argentina. Argentina has about 1/29th the population. But even if you do the math on that, Argentina, I think, is just incredibly cheap. Again, I made a whole video about this. If you're a subscriber on X, if you're a subscriber to the Discord and YouTube, you have all these details already. I won't go into all of them. I'll save it for the subscribers. So, but it's brilliant, guys. It's so fucking great right now. We've got so much good stuff going on. Let me get caught up with the rest of the chat, and then we're going to look at more economic data, and then we're probably going to shift to Bitcoin because I want to get to that too. Chris DeSantis, good stuff as usual, Jesse, but the most important topic is what's going on with your Cybertruck. My Cybertruck might be finished today, and it sounds like people with Cybertrucks are getting full self-driving. So, it would be so cool if I can pick it up and have it drive me for 3.5 hours. I would love that so much. I'd be very excited. Anthony says, how does BTC dominance to the downside affect its price action? If alts are screaming, it doesn't, right? All it does is signal that we're ready for this time where they jockey higher. And I've shown this a bunch of times, but altcoins can do really, really well. Why? Well, this is my shit coins right here, right? But if I click market cap and look at the year, look at where the big boys are. And so all the altcoins are going up with like little bits. And maybe this is people starting to buy from FTX distributions. Again, maybe some of them are getting back into shit coins. That's cool. Because when these pump, everybody gets excited about the Bitcoin and altcoin space. Altcoins pump for a while. They do really well. Bitcoin dominance falls. Like we showed over here. I'll just jump into it again. So let me just do this. So if we jump over to Bitcoin dominance, you could see how the dominance will fall, and it should fall because, again, we want to see this break. We want to see this turn back into resistance again because that's what it normally is. This is the trend line. So you would think that if you broke up above this, you would get a rejection and you would come back down. And while the dominance comes down, altcoins are pumping and Bitcoin stock or Bitcoin's price is going up the whole fucking time. And what'll happen is these little guys will pump up and then Bitcoin will pump up because people will be like, oh, the altcoins went up too much. Let me convert some of that to BTC. And then people also, institutionals will be like, we need Bitcoin. And because we know that's going to pump next and they'll go into Bitcoin. Bitcoin will get a lot bigger. Then Bitcoin will bust out and flow over into the altcoins, and then people will pump those more, and then that'll go back into Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin will flow out into the others. This is just how it works, and it works this way with all markets, really, from largest down. But when you just switch from dial down the risk curve is what they call it. And so that's what we're going to be seeing. We're going to be seeing a lot of dialing down the risk curve, and I don't hate it. Chad Ventures. I have this weird feeling that we're going to send stocks in Bitcoin today anyway. We have all these worries. We have the port shut down. I can play a video about that. That's supposed to kick in tonight. But climbing the wall of worry, I mean, that's something we're good at lately. Chad Ventures. Oh, sorry, that was you. Manny247. Chris Patel had a great opinion on investing in India. Not too favorable. I'd be curious to know more about that. If you have a link or anything, let me know. On X, you should be able to pop that in the chat, too. JD from X said, good morning, Chad. Chad Venture said, good morning. Everybody's greeting each other. This is wonderful. I love this community. Dr. Gonzo, are we buying all Bitcoin today? I am. If Tesla goes up, let's see how Tesla's doing. It's kind of taking a hit here, too. I don't know. China news, not super great, but so many good things with Tesla today. Down 0.48%. I think Tesla's going up. I need to actually get rid of these lines, though. Again, we're going to go over some posts with Tesla, guys. You don't want to miss it. I'm so bullish on Tesla. So if Tesla goes up and Bitcoin is still down, I'm buying MSTX for fucking sure. All right. Yup from X. Yup from X says any BTC dip is a gift here. MicroStrategy is a great buy. I agree. Kamawa, you've trained us for times like this. Buy when others are fearful. I hope I have, man. There's going to be times where you should be fearful, but we aren't there yet. Foe from X says VW, Tesla, or Stellantis, and Austin Martin all cut outlooks. How do you feel about Tesla with their numbers tomorrow? Teslas have been seeing record sales in China. They've been seeing record sales in parts of Europe. We're seeing VIN registrations going through the roof in the United States. They might be the number one sold car in the fucking country right now. I feel good. But Bo, you spoke exactly to what I was talking about. Other car manufacturers are fucked. Absolutely fucked. And they don't have full self-driving, and they're not EVs. Or if they are EVs, they're shittier versions of a Tesla. They're dying. They're dying. That is the signal. Mainstage News. Good morning, Jesse. Can you further explain what you mean by China exporting deflation and how that affects our other countries? All the things that we were looking at show that the prices are, we got another video on port strike. I want to listen to that in a little bit too. That prices are coming down because China's trying to stoke demand. They're doing something. They're basically dumping goods on the rest of the world. They were trying to do it with EVs. They're trying to do it on whatever they can. And I think the hope was strategically they could crush the auto markets around the world. They could crush other sectors around the world, and at the same time make it to where everybody comes to them. That's kind of been the play. If you look at the last several decades, it's basically destroy all competition and consume, but that isn't working anymore. And so they're exporting deflation by giving us lower prices for goods. That's great because we have our own problems in the United States, but our deflation is our inflation is dropping off a cliff. I think we could be in the twos by the beginning of the year. So deflation is falling greatly. And yet at the same time, we get this benefit from deflation from exported goods, which we buy most of our goods from China. If you look at the trade balance, it's shit right now. So we get them from China and we get them from other parts of the world where they're distributing to them now, and they're starting to build out in other countries because the flows in China are horrifically negative. The number of businesses opened in China are non-existent, and the number of capital outflows are through the roof. And so all this pumping they're doing of liquidity is providing liquidity to the rest of the world along with their country, but it's just like leaking out to the rest of the world while prices are dropping. It's hugely beneficial for us. Not maybe for parts of Europe like Spain and Germany that are heavily attached to China and require China to buy a bunch of their goods. Those people are fucked. But us, we're doing great. I hope that explains that for you. How many miles can you get in your Cybertruck on a full charge? 325, I think, but I'm going to be getting the expanded pack too, so I'll get close to 500 miles when it comes out. Manny247 said, Jesse, I meant China needs Tesla. Totally. Yep, and I was agreeing with you. Daniel Dibb, good morning, boys and gals. Emin Hoddle, good morning. Bamboo from Axe, let's just pump this market now. Haywood Jablomi, hey Jablomi, are you the one that was having issues in YouTube? If so, I think I fixed you. Can you Jablomi over in YouTube if that's you? And if I'm mistaking you with somebody else, I apologize. Any update on CleanSpark? Yeah, I think it's better, guys. I posted in Discord. I'm not as worried about it. So let me just show here. So let me find where we at. Where my cleans? All right, let me see here. I gotta like figure out. All right, I need to get over here. Go over here. Click here. Click on this thing. Search in the Discord. Let's just jump to this one. All right, so let's see what we got here. I posted something. Oh yeah, I posted right here. It says looks like things are improving. Also, I posted. There are people that posted in here that are like, hey, I think this location's okay. I looked up a few of them. They looked okay. But if we look here, Sunday, we're back up to 11.46 exahash from Thursday's 18.39 before the storms. Friday, we were down to 11. Then Saturday was really bad. We were down to 7.38. So we've gained back a decent amount of exahash. And it looks like from a lot of the locations that were there that things are probably getting better. So not quite sure. Maybe there's an update since, but I think things are looking better, guys. I think it's looking better. We'll see what happens. Maybe there's a dip buying opportunity there. As long as they don't have major catastrophic issues, I think we're all right. Let's see real quickly if anybody from CleanSpark has said anything. Let's just see what updates we have, too, while we're here. And then we got to get into more U.S. economic data. 1 hour ago, I will be buying any CleanSpark dip this morning on any reps. Damage from hurricane appears to be very minimal in regards to CleanSpark. I kind of agree. Gapping down. Yeah, whatever everything is. Checking out CleanSpark largest mine. Yeah, that's the one I posted. I think we're the breaking news, guys. Our Discord is the breaking news now for CleanSpark. I don't think there is more. If you guys have any, let me know. It seems like we're the news nowadays, at least for that. Are we going to be the news for a lot of stuff? I feel like it. I feel like this Discord, guys, already over 810 people between the Discord and X subscriptions. Thank you very fucking much. It's exciting as shit. Admin wife and myself are just, I don't know what to say. So love you guys. Daniel Dibb said, Kyle said, morning crew. Daniel Dibb said, just started the stream and Jesse owes admin wife around $4 or $5 in swearing jar. Is that how that's working? Is she charging me now? Fuck. Oh, shit. Okay. I'll try. JD, do you think when Optimus is released, it would be worth getting 2? I'm going to order 5. So, I mean, you do you, bro. I'm ordering 5. That's what I'm thinking right now. I want at least 5 because I've got family I'm trying to take care of too. Again, I've retired myself, my parents, my in-laws, only one in-law now, sadly, but and my wife. So, but yeah, so I plan on and then I got a nephew where I'm trying to do work with. I want him to run the Tesla automobile fleet and then also the robots. So I'm excited about that. All right. You keeping one for a collectible though? Yeah, totally, dude. I could see that. Mr. Monkey, I'm not seeing anything new except 35% loss of mining capacity per their wallet. No way to know if that's just power related and also in damage. Yeah. We'll see what they actually come back with. I did look at some places that would have been like right in the eye of the storm as far as flooding, and they didn't look bad. So I think maybe we're okay. Haywood Jablomi, I'm good off of YouTube on Discord. Oh, okay, cool. I can't remember who was having a problem, though, talking on YouTube, but I think I fixed you. Whoever it was, I think I fixed you. So if you want to try it, otherwise, fuck it. Who cares? Manny247, Cashflow Chronicles S2, episode 24. P.S. Matt is the Rocket Lab go-to. I got 1 share it for. I still don't care about Rocket Lab, but I love you guys for caring about Rocket Lab. I just don't give a shit. I should probably add that in the Discord. I'll add that too, if you guys want to see it. Les Walter, Jesse, do you charge your truck at home, and what is the cost? Oh, it's so cheap, guys. Let me see. Can I show this to you? So it's 11 cents for me to charge at home. I don't know if I can easily show this. Maybe I can. Yeah, I probably can. So here's the year. Let me see here. Let me see. I'm trying to see what this looks like. I better actually pull up OBS so I can see. All right. So here's the year for charging costs. It says I spent $695, right? So that is with a cost of 13 cents per kilowatt hour at home, and then the supercharger I averaged 19. I had a bunch of free miles on that. But my gas equivalent, it's probably a little high, maybe 10% high, says that it should have been $2,200 and I spent $695. It shows a $1,500, it's kind of hard to read that, $1,500 savings. I think that savings was probably like $1,250 in reality. But so far this year, in 6 months, I've saved $1,250 owning my Cybertruck. Even though I rod the shit out of it, fucking use and abuse it, I think that's a great cost. It's fucking amazing. All right, let's keep going. David Chapenda, no thanks to you, man, or thank you, man. Oak, damn, I didn't get a notification for the stream today. Sorry, bro. Turn off, guys, for notifications. Maybe uncheck the alert and check it again just to be safe. Okay. Let's keep going because sometimes YouTube's stupid. Oak, inside robot and outside robot. There you go. Yeah, you don't want to, bring a dirt in the house. Queso Fresco says, Jesse, what's up? You think Coinbase will be along with Bitcoin and lag behind? I think it'll do all right. I like MicroStrategy better though. I love their purchases. James, we did a recap yesterday in the weekend session talking about Bitcoin, crypto, and everything else. And we watched one of James' videos and walked through it. He did a really great job with an illustration showing how they do really well from the multiplier to the upside because of buying Bitcoin. I mean, maybe to the point to where some of these miners look less attractive. I'm still in them, though, because they're going to have a wicked bounce. But very, very fascinating stuff in regard to that. I pay 0.04 kilowatt hours at home. Giovanni, what the fuck? You got it good, bro. Is that an hourly based thing? Like nighttime hours are better and you do it at that time or something? Because that's a sweet rate. Joseph Mock, hey Jesse, so you're not worried or have any concerns about miners share dilution? I'm not. I don't have that same concern that James has. I mean, I do to a degree. Dilution does suck, but I disagree with him. I think I never say this about James because I fucking love James, but I disagree with him a little bit. He showed in one of the illustrations he put out yesterday, he made it look like, at least under that one illustration, and he didn't really clarify the point. It showed that Cypher was looking great because Cypher wasn't diluting as much as everybody else. Iron was the worst. It was like 142% dilution. Then CleanSpark was like a distant second at like 42%. And again, their number would jump if they did the $600 million ATM. But they haven't even spent the first 300 yet. Anyway, but it made it look like Cypher was the better one. And I disagree with that. Cypher sold Bitcoin to expand their operation. I fucking hate that. Bitcoin could go up 200% from here. I don't want them selling their fucking Bitcoin. I want them diluting shares, something denominated in dollars that lose value every fucking day. That's what I want them selling. I don't want them selling their fucking Bitcoin before the top. So I disagree with that assessment. It's probably one of the only times you'll ever find me disagree with James because I think he's a lot smarter than I am and he works a lot harder. So I'm not no shit talking, but I just I think it was misrepresented. I think that these can still do really well. Now don't get me wrong, CleanSpark, if it goes to $32 by the end of this year, I'm fucking 100% out of the options. Or beginning of next, I'm 100% out of the options because I get a 2x that move and that's like a 500% gain. I'll get the fuck out of that. Will I probably go more into MicroStrategy and some of these other plays? Yeah, probably, especially if they're like down at all. I'll probably start doing some of that, playing a little bit of safety play. James' plan was to get out of Bitcoin miners first and then get out of his shitcoins next. And his main shitcoin portfolio is really Solana related. So he's probably got a really good ride ahead of him. I don't know if I necessarily disagree with that. I was thinking kind of similar and stepping out of both, maybe at different degrees, but maybe miners more so initially than shitcoins. I definitely, though, am reducing exposure and being conservative. And so whatever happens, I'm still really going to do well. So I'm not worried about it. Maytag, all miners dilute, I think, part of the business model. Yes. JD, I think so too, Chad. It just seems like a no-brainer. Agreed. Mr. Monkey, buy one robot, have it build a replica of itself. Love that. Manny247, I shouldn't have scrolled right after looking you up. Manny247, you need a robot admin wife. Don't tell the wife. Dr. Giovanni, yep. Kamawa, Soul Strategies was one company James mentioned yesterday. Have you checked them out? Smaller cap. Is that the HODL one, or is that a different one? And I have not. That's definitely something where we should throw it in the Discord chat and look at it. Let's keep going here, guys, because I got a lot to go over. There's so much shit to go over today. So we need to back up this truck real quick. I want to go over real quickly to where we were with this video. If I can find it, where did it fucking go? Where did my video go? Is it over here? Is that you? Nope. Is that you? Nope. Did I close it? What the fuck? All right, I will just find it again, guys. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to click on this little thing. Sucks because I'm like not at the right place, but we'll look at it. Can always back up the truck. All right, let me see over here.
Time.
All right, let me just see what that icon looks like. It doesn't look very clear, so maybe it's over. Well, fuck it. I'll just go back. Let's go back. Let's see here. That crazy bitch. Let's go back over here. There we go. All right, we're starting here, guys. I want to listen to what SoFi has to say.
You do the double count on the last.
Double count on the
Or double count on the last.
Yeah, just
Only 30 days in September. I always ask you this, you never get it right.
You never get it right.
You never get it right.
What's that?
What's the only month of the year to have 28 days?
no, it's how many months have 28 days?
How many months have 28
All of
days?
them.
All of them. What could be ahead for the
Why don't we have symbols here? We need a little.
Could be Liz Young Thomas is with us, head of investment strategy at SoFi. I knew that. How are you? Good morning.
I'm good. Hi, Joe.
We had a great run up to the easing cycle. Does it continue, or is it like so many things where we've already anticipated it and already traded on it, and now the going gets a little tougher? What do you think, Liz?
I think the biggest gains leading up to the easing cycle have probably been had, but that doesn't mean it slows down necessarily in the immediate term. So usually after that first cut, when you look out 30 to 60 days, the market is flat-ish to up, and then about 3 months out is when the market decides whether or not these cuts were needed because things were cooling too quickly, or if they were cuts because we could do it, not because we had to do it, in which case the market ends up being much more positive. So there's a few other things going on, though, that obviously are a tailwind for this rally. We've seen tech give a little bit back, or at least slow down its gains and not be leading the market as much, which you would think is a negative. But what we've seen also is that a lot of other stocks are coming up and really pulling their weight.
Oh, is she getting bullish? Is Liz turning around, guys?
And with 80% of the S&P still trading above its 200-day moving average, there's a lot of internal strength behind the rally, not to mention the optimism over China stimulus. So I think in the near term, we've got a lot of good things going for the market.
It seems like valuation concerns, it never helps you really with the timing of when to lighten up, although watching what Warren Buffett does can help you sometimes. And we've already seen maybe him lightening up.
Yeah, Warren Buffett was lightening up the load before the pandemic. So, I mean, 4 years. 4 years.
But the reason you like...
So if you like that pace of conservative approach, then albeit, I mean, that's wonderful for you. But he's a value investor. I think value investing, I do kind of do that. I mean, I'm a bottom feeder on what I believe to be really good companies, but we're going to see a lot of asymmetric upside here with some of them. And I just don't think, I don't know, he doesn't care about that. He doesn't care if it takes 2 to 3 years for the market to collapse. He'll just buy then. So if you're okay with like waiting 7 years, and he might be dead, then you're fine. But that's Warren Buffett's approach.
Like rates that come down is because multiples can expand. But in the United States, aren't we at about 21 or 22 already? Why should even, unless it spawns more higher earnings, it seems like multiples are already pretty rich.
I would agree. Multiples are
And multiples can stay rich. Tom Lee does a great job explaining this in the compound video from like 4 days ago.
definitely rich. If we compare it back to what we do most often right now in the early 2000s, not nearly as rich as they were then, but
Yep. And we're not in the 2000s. This is nothing like the dot-com bubble.
when you look at where we are today, we're above the 5-year average, we're above the 10-year average. We're not quite
And just think of why that is. You've got some of the largest companies on earth, multi-trillion-dollar companies that are cash rich and that have tons of fucking wealth, driving the multiples up across the board. This is normal, actually. This is probably like remotely healthy. It's okay.
Right at overbought conditions on the S&P, but we're up there. And when you talk about Warren Buffett, he's the longest of long-term investors, so he's obviously not trying to time the multiples on markets.
Exactly.
But what you do want to see from this point forward, if we are able to secure a soft landing, you want to see the market start to trade more on fundamentals and not on multiple expansion.
Hey guys, take a look at this. Sorry to interrupt here, but we've got Democrats trying to say that social media is doing a bad job curbing hate online and that they should start censoring it, which John Kerry just the other day was saying that the government needs to control hate speech. Isn't this fun? Isn't it fun? Soon we won't even be able to say what we want to fucking say on X, especially if we elect, that person, the Kamala. Just fucking so dystopian, guys. Let's listen to this dipshit real quick, and then we'll go back.
Here after Hamas's October 7th attack.
If you guys believe in freedom and believe in democracy and capitalism and any of that shit, and you're voting Democrat, I think you're being incredibly naive.
On Israel, major social media companies still failing to take action against anti-Semitic hate on their platforms. ADL looked at...
Dude, what does Elon have to do? He was literally invited to Congress by Netanyahu to be there. What fucking else do you have to do? What do you have to do?
At Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and X, and put out a report card this morning. X failed with a grade of F. TikTok and Facebook both earned C's. Earlier research from the...
Of course, X is the worst, right? That's the one they want to take out, guys. X. That's next in line, right? We already got Telegram. They're going after Rumble. What's next in line? It's X. Don't vote for these assholes.
ADL showed nearly half of the
Sorry,
Jews
I don't like getting
have
political.
seen anti-Semitic content or conspiracy theories related to the Israel-Hamas war. Joining us right now exclusively is Jonathan Greenblatt, CEO and National Director of the ADL. You say half...
This guy is an utter piece of shit.
Half of the Jews, I'm Jewish, I see this stuff all the time.
He's also a piece of shit.
When you say
Joe's the good one. Fuck this guy.
It's an F, and you say Facebook gets a C, let's just rank them. Go down.
Yeah, and John Kerry. Yeah, I saw John Kerry. John Kerry literally says that the Constitution is holding us back. Freedom of speech is holding us fucking back as a country, and that the government needs to ensure that people understand what the truth is. And so there needs to be a ministry of fucking truth where the government tells us what is real. And there is no competition anymore in government because there's only one fucking party left if they control everything that people see. If you want that kind of world, fuck you. Go somewhere else. Sorry. If you got kids around, I'm sorry.
Down the list and let's talk about what we're seeing here.
Sure. So Facebook and TikTok on this test earned C's. Instagram and YouTube earned
He's going to 100% attack X. That's what he does every fucking time.
D's, and X got an F. Now, what we did is we took the 5 most popular social media platforms and we looked at, Andrew, what happens when an ordinary user reports violative content, in this case, anti-Semitism. And as you sort of highlighted at the top, there has been a tsunami of anti-Jewish hate since 10/7. We've seen it on college campuses, we've seen it in political spaces, we've seen it in public places and online. It has literally been a...
Elon Musk is literally buddies with Netanyahu. Why are we having this conversation? He actually went to fucking Israel to see what happened. Why are we having this conversation?
Torrent. So, and what I'm talking about are conspiracy theories that say, Israelis are...
And why the fuck is this on CNBC? Who gives a shit about this? Why is this on business channels? Do you ever ask yourself that?
Stealing Palestinian organs, or the Jews did 9/11.
Show us data, asshole.
Or using Zionist as a slur. So we simply ran tests to see how did a platform respond when an ordinary user reported problematic content versus through their trusted flagger.
Anthony says, can Kamala Harris even place Israel on a map? You know, I wouldn't know because she didn't even fucking show up for Netanyahu's speech. But the Democratic Party has it set where the New York Times is saying how the Constitution needs to be eliminated and how it's holding back America. And John Kerry is saying the Constitution is preventing us from being able to get rid of misinformation. This is the party right now. This is their objective. Their objective is to turn into communism. It is to work with the UN and World Economic Forum to hand over power from the U.S. government to these entities. And sites like X go away, just like what they're trying to do in the UK right now with Keir Starmer. This isn't like some made-up crazy shit. They did this in Brazil too, guys. They're attacking freedom of speech right now. They don't want it. John Kerry literally said yesterday, or the day before, whatever it was, that it's hard to make real progress with what they're trying to do with misinformation out there and people having opposing opinions. So there can only be one opinion in the future. One fucking opinion, and it's theirs. Pisses me off so fucking bad that people...
programs. These are the established channels they have with organizations like ADL. So in brief, it took over a week, but when using the regular channels that someone like you would do, if you flagged bad content, nothing happened over a week. When we used the trusted flagger model, about 60% dealt with the content was dealt with. But Andrew, that isn't nearly enough.
This doesn't fucking say anything outside of we should censor everybody who says something we don't like. There are going to be people out there that are racist, okay? X already makes it to where those posts get demoted, where you can, it's like them screaming at a fucking wall, right? And then the ones that have a much larger presence, they get dealt with sooner. These guys probably created a fucking anti-Semitic post that was seen by one body just so that they could fucking make these assumptions. Where's the analytics? Give us the actual data for how you tested this so that we can tear it apart. They don't want to do that. They just want to shut down X. Fuck these people. Fuck all of them. Please vote for real Donald Trump. I don't even care if you don't fucking like him. My wife doesn't like him. She's still going to fucking vote for him because she believes in freedom. So even if you don't like him, vote for him. They're trying to kill him for a reason. Sorry, I can't even listen to this asshole anymore. It's going to piss me off. Let's go back to Liz. And I'm sorry I took that segue. I'm getting really pissed that on a business channel, we're trying to make excuses to shut down X. Fuck you. And the reason they're doing this is because their viewership is plummeting year after year. And X is a primary driver of competition. That's it.
Which might actually mean mathematically that multiples don't expand that much more from here, but earnings get more steady and stable. And you see some of the other...
Yeah, literally, Zelensky met with Elon. Go back a couple of weeks, you've got the Italian Prime Minister, you've got Javier Milei, you've got Nayib Bukele, you've got all these world leaders. They're meeting with him, or they're meeting with Trump. They're not even meeting with Kamala.
Sectors besides tech come in and show some more earnings strength. So we've seen little glimmers of that.
I hope we can make the difference, David. I hope. I'm not even religious, but I'm praying we can. Because if we don't make it, man, what fucking hope is there for this world? If we don't make it, what hope is there for any of us?
Got obviously a lot of strength in the industrial stocks right now, but not so much strength in financials. So there's still some conflicting signals from the market, but we don't necessarily need it to be multiple expansion. You do want to see fundamental expansion as well.
Well, that's it. Then you seems like you really got to do some homework and research, because it's not going to be like a tops down move in the markets. You're going to have to look for the companies that are benefiting and posting better earnings gains over this. Who does that include? And do you have to think about the election? Do you have to think about what goes into deciding which sectors are going to have faster earnings growth?
Yeah, well, the other thing you want to keep in mind is if stocks expand just on multiples, they can give it back very, very quickly. And frequently, if it's mostly multiple expansion, when you do have those little bouts of volatility, the ones that have run the fastest go down the fastest as well. So it leads to more volatility in the short term. So who can benefit if tech continues to give some of this back and not lead the pack? What I think investors are going to start to do is look for growth in other places, especially as US GDP growth has slowed down a bit, still stable, but has slowed down a bit. So where can you find that, and what kind of environment
In tech. All right, go ahead, Liz. I'm sorry.
are we in, and what sectors would do well in that environment? And the one that continues to bubble to the top for me is healthcare. You can
Yeah, sure. All right.
find growth still in biotech and pharma. Healthcare is traditionally a defensive sector, but tends to do well in environments where the yield curve is steepening, particularly a bull steepening environment, which we have been in for a while. So you want to look at healthcare. The other thing is, I would say, when everybody is so certain of an outcome, you want to make sure that you're still considering the possibility that it doesn't happen. And right now,
Oh,
it
come
seems
on.
like
You were doing so
the
good.
market, the Fed are very certain that we've hit soft landing. So what would you want to hold just in case that doesn't come to fruition? I think you can take advantage of some of the rise in yields in the 10-year, but you still want to look across the Treasury curve from the 10-year down and look at the short end of the curve and find some opportunity there, just in case the Fed has to cut faster than we expect.
She could be right about part of that, but I would just hold Bitcoin, which is great right now, right? Because we're only halfway through the cycle and we've got global liquidity spitting out all over the place. So I think you're going to get a much better yield there than the short dated end of the curve. And definitely no long dated stuff yet. I mean, the TLT, again, it can do all right. TMF is horrible because it's 3x multiplier, but TLT could trend sideways to down, not really go down much at all. I think I'm looking at that as cash. So when I make a bunch of gains outside of, buying my Argentinian fund, maybe some Micron, and today maybe Bitcoin if things work out, I think, something like that would be okay. You could just buy that and sit on it and then use it to buy later. But she's not too far off. She's getting better. She's warming up, guys. All right, let me look at comments real quick. And I'm sorry for going off. I don't want to see the destruction of my world or our world. And I have a daughter now. I don't know if I would have cared as much if I didn't have a 10-year-old daughter. But when you have kids, you all of a sudden give a fuck about the world and don't want it to be utterly devastating and destroyed. Maybe that's why Democrats don't seem to care as much. It seems like they have less children. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I digress. It just fucking pisses me off. David, the guy on the left talking about social media is terrifying. I agree. Maytag, if free speech goes away, the free market and capitalism is next. I agree. Sam Bath Lamb, the whole world is on the line. This election has never been more important. Trump must win. I know. Bogdan M, nibble out of Tesla while nibble into BTC-related investments. That's the plan. 3 put for Doe. Agree, stay invested in growth. JD, Democrats do have less children. BGZ, Jesse, what opened your eyes? Didn't you vote for Biden? Oh, well, I mean, X did. Elon, thank God. And I think he did that with a lot of people. But last election, I've been kind of a liberal person for a while. I voted for Obama twice. I voted for Trump because I didn't like Hillary. That was hard for me, though, because I wanted to like Hillary because I was liberal, but I didn't. I voted Trump, and then I didn't like Trump, and because I was fed from mainstream media. That's the only place I got my sources of information, and it was very cursory and superficial. And I did my 20-second clips, and so I just thought he was the demon. I thought he was Hitler. I thought he was this horrible fucking person that was trying to destroy the earth, and that he had to be done away with, just like all these other fucking drones that don't take any time whatsoever to actually do any research or listen to the full story. And then X came around, and then the Twitter files came around, and I read them. I didn't want to, but then I slowly found myself turning into this right-wing conspirator because I wanted to know the fucking truth. And now I couldn't be more far or disattached from the left. And I mean, I'm crazily enough, I believe in capitalism and the benefits that it has for humanity. And I can look back throughout history and see it with data in my own fucking eyes. And I believe in freedom because it's what we were founded on. It's what made us great. Why does it all of a sudden need to go away so that some people that want me to eat fucking bugs and less people on Earth, why do I need to listen to them? Why do I need to listen to them? And yeah, COVID. Somebody said COVID. Yeah, that taught me a shit ton because I was all like, yeah, lock this bitch down. And then I had to teach my daughter for a year because I didn't want her to be in school. And I realized how negatively that impacted her. And then looking back at it, really the old people that were most vulnerable should have been eating healthier, getting exercise, being out in like public spaces where there aren't a lot of people, not sitting in front of a bunch of masks, breathing in their own fucking toxicity. And it didn't really help. And then like all the people that had to get vaccinated versus the ones that didn't, it's like, honestly, like, I can't even say this stuff, but if you look at the data, because if I say it, I'll just get censored probably and struck again, and then maybe I won't see you guys for a few months. But if you look at the data, it really makes you go, why did we do this? Why did we do this to our people? Why did we do this to our fucking children? And I can't give you a good answer. And I can't find one liberal who can. And all the things that were conspiracy theories, like Hunter Biden's laptop, all this shit, turned out to be bullshit. And we know the government, per Mark Zuckerberg, was controlling what we could see and believe. And censoring real information heading into a fucking election. So, I don't know, all those things, the culmination of all those things. And I hope there's a lot more people like me. I pray that there is, for all of our sake. Anyway, let's move forward. That's enough of a fucking rant for today. Tesla down 0.84%. Again, guys, we could be seeing some residue from just fears about a government shutdown. Thank you, Samuel, for becoming a member. I'll get off my political train now. I'm sure I got lost a few people from that, but I don't fucking care. I'm going to tell the truth. It's just how I roll. So it's the only speed I know. All right, so Tesla, yeah, down 0.72. I don't think this is bad at all. I just want to reiterate, I got a lot of good things to say about Tesla, but before we get to that, let me just jump back real quick because I want to get to economic data again. Thank you for the salute, Samuel. All right, let's talk about the U.S. economy. So again, I said, I guess we'll find out if tomorrow's 50% maritime port traffic coming to a halt is going to bring markets down over the short term in conjunction with Japan's weak economic data. And to be clear, it was only industrial data that was weak. The retail sales wasn't too bad. So, Japan wasn't too bad. I don't even know how the market closed. But it says the International Longshoremen's Association contract expires September 30th. And they'll be unable to come to terms with the United States Maritime Alliance, meaning a strike could begin basically starting tomorrow morning. The economy, billions of dollars a day. ILA President Harold Daggett has refused to endorse Kamala Harris and is very angry with President Biden. He met with Trump shortly after the attempt was made and on his life, and there is hope he might help put a deal together. The ILA wants a 40% pay raise. Entry-level longshoremen make $40 to $60K a year. That is actually not a lot. Average salary is between $70,000 and $120,000. Oh, okay, so the other guys are doing all right. Highest paid is $200,000. That is a lot. So here, fire the higher-ups. Give these guys in the entry-level a raise. No, I'm kidding. But this is interesting. It's interesting, too, that I got to see what they say here real quick. Oh, no, this is 17 minutes. That's too fucking long. I'll try and watch that on my own and let you guys know what I think. But it's interesting that they're leaning towards Trump. I wonder how that's going to work out. And again, I put weaker economic data is probably what was driving down Japan yesterday. Again, the negative 4.9% industrial production, where they expected 3.3%. They expected expansion, they got contraction. So I think that was the thing that probably hurt them the most. And it was pretty steep month-over-month decline, too. Again, negative 1% forecast, negative 0.9 forecast or for consensus, and then actual negative 3.3. But retail sales did a little bit better than forecast. I just don't think they were able to offset the industrial production concerns, which is why the market was down 4%. But let's get to the good stuff. My buddy Ryan Detrick, always a good news guy. Almost always. And then his face. He's such a happy dude. From Springfield, Ohio. Isn't that fun? Fun little fact. He said, good news for the bulls. He goes, S&P 500, first 8 of 9 months has never done all 9. Then Q4 does even better. So higher the first 8 of 9 months. It's never done all 9 before. So that would be a first, but has done better in Q4. Up every single time, 8 out of 8, with an average gain of 6.6%, and versus an average Q4 of 4.3. So, like, again, this just says Q4 should scream. That's what he's trying to say, and I agree. And then over here, he also said the fourth quarter is almost here. Historically, it's the best quarter for stocks. So it's the best quarter for Tesla, historically. It's the best quarter for Bitcoin, historically, especially after the halving. And it's the best quarter after election, historically. And then it's the best quarter on average, historically, as well. And then the setup is historically the best. So lots of the best sitting in front of us right now. BGZ, $9.99. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for the alpha. No one else I know shares their trades and portfolios so transparently. I'm trying, man. It sucks when you're wrong for long periods of time. Like with PayPal, I was wrong for 16 months. It's not as much fun, but it definitely gets better when I think it's worth it being transparent during the hard times, because when the good times come back around again, I think people appreciate it a lot more. And it gives you some credibility, and that's what I'm shooting for. I want to be credible. Seth Golden said, when mortgage rates drop this much, as they have over trailing 12 months, good things happen for stocks. Similar declines in a 30-year mortgage rate has produced stellar returns for the S&P 500 over the next year, with an average annualized gain of 16%. So again, just looking back, and there's some other charts I had that were even better than this. And Seth does good work, but that just showing how when the rates dropped, the vast majority of times the market goes higher. And that's just another one of those. And then Daniel LaCall said global net liquidity is exploding. This means unprecedented monetary destruction, economic secular stagnation, and risky assets expansion. I agree. And I did add this, and I'm going to add more metrics, guys, to the Discord. Where is my fucking Discord? Oh, there it is. I added some new stuff. So again, I've added we got a bunch of stock related stuff. I'm just going to shrink a bunch of things here to clean it up a little bit. I'm going to shrink this too. But if we go down here, I've got the liquidity section, and I did put in here, take me there. Oh, wait, there we go. And I'm just going to get rid of my search up here to expand this out. So I put in Michael Howell's Substack for anybody that wants it. And then I also put in the pin part up here, and you can see it in there. I put in the Lind Alden's formula for money expansion, which is probably just a little bit different than what you were looking at over there. It includes a lot of different things. It's got M2, it's got EU, it's got China, it's got Japan, it's got, Great Britain. It's got a bunch of stuff. And again, monetary expansion, if you listen to Michael Howell, just money printing in and of itself does not mean that markets will go up. But that's why he follows 90 different metrics to tell you what global liquidity is. And I like him the most in regard to that topic. I think he is the most knowledgeable of anybody. So he's my fave. He's my fave, yo. All right, let's get over here. Bitcoin bouncing. Major volume off of 64.5. Sweet. Let's just look at it real quick here, guys. That's a good sign. 64.2. Again, this volume shelf right here is a thing of beauty. It's great that we're finding it. And if you actually go back further, if we go back to the monthly here, guys, because that's what we're going to have anyway, right? We're going to have a monthly close tonight at 7 o'clock. But if we go back and look over here, just at this range right here, again, decent amount of volume underneath of us. Really nice setup. Look at this. Above all of these monthly closes, as long as we close above 61.413, this is a nice fucking setup. Why is it a nice setup? Because if you look here, if we dial down, that marks 1, 2, 3, 4, and is it 5? That will be the fifth time out of 7 monthly candles that we have closed above what was previous resistance for a double top in the last cycle. Now, why is this interesting to me? Great question. I'm glad you asked. Let's go back and check out some of this, okay? So the last time that we were knocking at the door in the other direction, we weren't finding support on it, but we were getting ready to break up above it. You can see how we had tested. There was this downward trend, and I'll see if I can draw it well enough, right? So let's just say this, right? There was this downward trend in the previous cycle in 2017 that, not this last one, but the one before, where we had this trend, and you could see where actually, if you draw it down more, like this is the monthly, but if you draw it down more, like it's more like this. It's probably like more like this, where it's probably close to that. Not a perfect representation, but it's close. So if you look here, you can see how many times we knocked the door, right? All these months, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Took a couple months off, 6, 7, 8. We kept tapping on this door before we took off. So last time it was just an inability to get her up, right? That's what she said. And then this time, though, this time is different. This time we're finding that base. We're finding that support. Probably we're doing so much better this time where we broke through so quickly because of the ETF. If you look here, we got the halving in here, and then the ETF was a little bit before that. So we just had we had a really good, or right around this, that we had a really good pump the market cycle. And then it took a pause. And again, we had selling pressure from Germany. We had all that other stuff that we looked at over here that kept us down. And I'm going to highlight this again because I think it's just so beautiful. Right here. Nope, not this one. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. It's in here somewhere. Right here. This is a great one from Crypto Rover. He's just a kid, but it's pretty insightful, and it's a good graph. So again, we had government sell pressure from Germany. We had Mt. Gox sell pressure because this wasn't a benefit. This was in crypto, and so if people wanted money, they had to cash out. But this time, and then we had BTC ETF inflows, which are great. But now we have the 16 billion in FTX distribution. We've been able to find support on the previous levels, and we're in basically a bull flag. This is a bull flag. It's a beautiful fucking bull flag. And the candles look great. And we're getting ready to close. If we closed at 64 or God willing, above like 65 to 66, it's on like Donkey Kong. So don't be bearish right now. Suckers are bearish right now. You don't want to be a sucker. All right, we got 8 minutes until market open. Let's look here, too. I think 8:45 was our next set of economic data. Chicago PMI, then Dallas Fed at 9:30. If you like what you see in here, guys, make sure you type. Make sure you get excited. We're going to jump into Tesla now. So, and we'll go to the market open. You guys let me know when we're getting close to the bell. I'll actually probably play that out once that happens. So we'll jump into CNBC here. I'll actually probably fast forward just to get this up in front of us. I'll leave this on mute, and we will pull this up as we get close to the bell. So let's keep going. So I got Tesla stuff to talk about. There's a lot of stuff. Like, is there more economic data? Maybe. Let's just check. Tesla, though. Oh, guys, that's the one I'm really excited about today. Just really fucking excited, guys. Really excited. So much good stuff happening. So I'll look to see if there's more economic data in a second, but we're focused on Tesla right now, guys. Let's just go through it. Victor says Daniel Lasol is from Spain. He is a very good economical analyst. Cool. Heinz N looks like RT, now BTC crawling up from this morning lows. Yes, it does. BGZ, huge cup and handle. It's a massive cup and handle, and the measured move is really fucking high. All right, but let's look at Tesla. So Tesla AI team. So we got the Cybertruck getting deployed, right? That's cool. Albert, what's up? But, so they're like, oh, hey, FSD for this. And then they said, and just like that, the last fledgling leaves the nest. Then Dennis goes, what about the Semi? And he goes, but wait, there's more. And I just said, it's amazing how much Elon and Tesla as a whole are teasing us about stuff that's coming and how great it's going to be. It's important. There's a ton of fucking signal there. And you guys need to realize that. Let's also just go through a number of things here. So I want to look at this Farzad post. So we've got the Cybertruck getting FSD. We've got highway end-to-end, 10-to-10 robotaxi. Europe and China FSD. Cybertruck starting at 72.5 with EV credit soon. Unsupervised FSD coming. Affordable, compact, Optimus. And then I put on here too, add in a 60% complete Chinese energy factory. Plus, I think they're going to try and make a deal with Argentina because they have a huge lithium stockpile, like I talked about in my members only video. And you have a winning formula for Tesla stock over the next several months. Note Q3 and Q4 are historically the best performing quarters of the year for Tesla. Now, it's not just that. It's so much fucking more. It is so much more. So I put Tesla stock has seen record revenues before this quarter, before record quarter, right? We could see that Tesla's stock hit a new all-time high, and I kind of covered it up here at this point, but you could see that it hit a new all-time high in revenue. That's great. But look at this. The PE ratio down here, look at what it was at for Tesla when Tesla hit its all-time high. Look at what it was at. Over 1,100? What? What the fuck? And now look at where it's at. It's minuscule by comparison. And again, if you look here, TTM net EPS is looking good too. And yet the stock price is still down, well off its all-time highs. So that's interesting in and of itself. But then we have, again, the 4 phases. I've got a video about it. You can watch it. It's where I talked about my $14 million bet with Tesla. You got these 4 phases of consolidation. This one got neutered because the Tesla Model 3 delivery sucked ass. So that was one thing, right? But outside of that one getting neutered, it more than made up for it when the Y went out, right? But now look at this, guys. We're in a perfect head and shoulder. And unlike this last one that we saw here, where we never made it all the way up, it rejected and dumped down. Right now on Tesla, if we zoom in to Tesla, if we zoom in over here, this one has made it perfectly back up. The measured move for it is $493 for this inverse head and shoulder. We're already above a resistance line that goes back 2.5 fucking years. We broke above it once, couldn't maintain. We broke above it again and found support. And now Tesla is down 0.73% in pre-market, but we are set to fly, and we have the perfect macro setup to get us there, along with the fundamentals, along with the technicals. It is the perfect fucking storm for Tesla right now. Perfect storm. So don't be bearish on Tesla. Please to God. That doesn't even make any fucking sense. If I can go around like this and have my car drive me everywhere, you shouldn't be bearish. The Warner Brothers lot, guys, I picture this. I picture Teslas, multiple Teslas with their new car, driving around the lot, and then maybe having some drone views, and then some other cameras showing you people, or maybe even a robot, getting in and out of the car, and getting driven around without issue, using the latest version and the latest neural network stack. That's what I see come 1010. And anything else is a bonus. But I think that they're going to use that lot and have a bunch of these cars driving around to show people that it's real. And then they're probably going to announce a bunch of cities where they're going to deploy it. So that's what I'm expecting. And I think it's insane for people to be bearish right now. I think it's fucking insane. You could be bearish. I mean, it's up to you. It's your prerogative, right? I'm going to make a bunch of money. That's what I do. Also, this is fucking nuts. This is fucking nuts. Due to popular demand, again, Tesla AI team is getting cocky as fuck, and I like that. They're showing the roadmap. It shows September. Again, everything that we've done in September, including Cybertruck getting FSD, which is happening right now. That's awesome. So they're doing it. They're doing their schedule, guys. But look at October. Unpark, park, and reverse in FSD. That means I'll be able to do the pin precision thing where I have this thing fucking literally go from my driveway, back up all the way out of it, and go out into the street and drive off. And then theoretically, it should be able to come back and park in my driveway. Also, they'll be doing version 13 with 6x improved miles between necessary interventions. It's already fucking amazing. What is this? Q1 of 2025, FSD in Europe pending regulatory approval. Like people said in chat, that probably won't fucking happen. It's Europe, right? Keir Starmer, he ain't gonna let that shit happen. They fucking hate Elon. They wanted to censor his discussion with a presidential candidate. They were trying to stop him and saying that they were going to go after him in the EU. I mean, we know what that's like, but China, they'll approve it. They're desperate for Elon Musk, guys. Oh, ran over my cord. They're desperate for Elon Musk. They need whatever they can to show that they believe in capitalism and to try and get money to come back to their country. So they're going live with it, whether Europe does right away or not. This is huge. The amount of signal here on just what's coming in October is massive. I hope you realize that. I hope you can use common sense and understand that. Jason said, do we like TSLL? I don't. I don't right now. But here's the thing. That's probably the better bet than the options chain that I have right now because I've made too much money off of Tesla. And I don't want you guys to get hurt. So I cannot recommend that you buy the same options contract that I have right now. Because even this morning, I'm up 125%. I've already taken out $500,000 in profits off of this thing, and it shows that I'm up 573,000. And so, I can't. Being an honest person, I couldn't tell you to buy this options chain. It's done really, really fucking well. The numbers probably don't look nearly as great as when I made that video a long time ago. So, yeah, TSLL is probably the better bet if you're looking to get some leverage off of Tesla right now, especially with Tesla dipping this morning. Again, if we dip a little bit more, it's already fucking coming back. Sorry. But yeah, maybe that's your best bet. I wouldn't get the options. And it's less complicated, right? Mr. Monkey, yeah, that EU guy was fired, though, for saying the quiet part out loud. But your whole point is saying the quiet part out loud. It's not like that's still not the objective. It's just, we don't want to talk about it. You shouldn't have fucking done that yet. You were supposed to be quiet. That's the problem. All right. So Tesla, phenomenal. Oh, dude, the bell. I missed the bell. Where were you guys? Maybe you were saying something I wasn't listening. It happens. Let me go back over here. We're going to back up just a second so we can pretend like we heard the bell. So go back here. Hey guys, it's the bell. It didn't happen yet. Yay. All right. Time to watch from the start. This has been a pretty good episode. If you like rants and raves, this has been a doozy.
In just a few moments, CNBC will ring the NASDAQ opening bell this morning in celebration of 25 years at the NASDAQ market site. As you know, now the broadcast home of Squawk Box and Fast Money.
Right, I got to check my portfolio while
Interesting,
we're
Jim,
going
to think
here.
about how Walking the Wall, Tom Costello back in the day, was an important evolution in financial journalism.
Yeah, look, a lot of times I used to think that the Journal was paper of record.
Got the whole CNBC crowd outside of these guys.
The so-called paper of record there, and it's really helped all of us. I think we do the same here. Congratulations to everyone at Times Square.
Let's get that open.
I was wondering if CNBC is trying to do a raise of capital or something to try and save their ass. I mean, I still listen to them, but like a lot of people don't.
Bell and the CNBC Real-Time Exchange, as we said, at the NASDAQ. It is CNBC celebrating 25 years of
All right, nobody cares. Let's see here. Let's see what these guys Yahoo say.
He's true. He's been on the show a bunch of times. He's a very inventive guy. I'm not writing off Resman. I just can't do that. Too good a company, David.
Okay.
And take a look at the chart. The chart is about how people realize, wait a second, maybe it's not over. Maybe they even can coexist. A lot of the companies can coexist. Abbott Labs coexisting. Abbott Labs, by the way, today a giant trial starts in St. Louis. They lost the last one. I think they will lose this one too. And then after that,
Tesla
I think there'll be a
pumping?
skein of victories because then they'll be out of this jurisdiction from hell for the defendants.
What do you make?
I'm going to quiet that down for a second. Somebody said Tesla's going up. Ooh, 0.25. Boy, the little bull that could. Look at this, guys. This is the breakout zone. To be clear, you could almost drag this down. We won't because I want to be like towards the tippity top here. But you could almost drag this thing down and say that we're already in the breakout. I'm not going to do that, though. I want to be like clean in the breakout. So I'm probably going to raise this bitch up. Because I want to know if we get up to that next level. But we're getting ready, guys, to see a breakout. Like, could we get to 270 today? I think it's possible. And we've got a gap here, guys, that takes us to about 290, sitting over to the left of us. It's the last gap on the daily time frame. outside of ones that potentially are way, way, way lower that we'll never reach ever. Again, we already did the gap. We already did the gap over here. You can see where I have one right down here. I already closed that a while ago. So things are good. Like we're sitting good on Tesla. This is looking exciting, guys. We're up 0.6%. I'm gonna let how's MSTX? How's MicroStrategy doing today? Let me just look here. MicroStrategy's down 4%. I hope it stays down. You fucking stay down. Let Tesla go up. You stay down. You stay down. CleanSpark down 6. Nice. So 6.5 for CleanSpark, guys. Oh, sweet. Let's hope that keeps falling. You know what's weird? Oh no, that's probably still residue from yesterday. I was going to say the option chain is showing up, but options, like I've said numerous times, guys, don't expect them to really update until at least 9, actually, like 9:30. That's when most of the time the chains have finally caught up and you're seeing the correct numbers in your portfolio. Rocky A said, good day to buy CleanSpark. I agree. Maybe I should set some sales on my, you know what, I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to set a couple of little nibble offs on my Tesla calls. Let's see, 59.38 was where we were at yesterday. What are we at today? Ooh, in the 60s. Fuck yeah. All right, 60. I'll go 65.5. Maybe throw out 3 of these bitches. All right, so I'm going to try and sell 3 calls for about $18,000. See what happens here. Might dial it down a little bit because. All right, 1 second here. Let that pinned. Refresh over here. Let's look at how the market is doing on our heat map. So I'm just going to take it off a pre and put it on the day. Apple up 1.72. BABA. So we still got Chinese shit climbing. That's exciting. Oh, executed. Sold 3 contracts for $60.55. How much is that on the day? And I'll go ahead and post that under the subscriptions on X. And then also within the Discord for people who participate. That means I'm up, I don't know, another 3-4% or something on Tesla calls. And now I got 20 grand. I'm going to buy some MSTX. Oh, shit, it's already bouncing. Son of a bitch. I'm actually going to sell a whole bunch. I'm going to sell 399 MicroStrategy. And I'm just going to buy a shit ton of MSTX today, guys. We're going to buy $80,000 in MSTX today. Does that sound like a fun number? Let's do this shit. Let's do it. MSTX at market. How many can I buy? 1,000? Is that too much? It's probably not enough. That's not enough. We're going to need at least 2,000. Let's go 2,500. Fuck it. Let's just commit. You know what? I'm doing double leverage. Let's do 2,000. We'll do something cheap. All right, $60,000 worth of MicroStrategy 1.75x has been purchased. So, got that leverage going. Maybe I should go over and look at some CleanSparks. Maybe I should look at some CleanSparks. You know, I really don't know how. I don't know that all the facilities are okay, though. Maybe I should wait. All right, just 1 second here, guys. I'll be back at it. Just trying to think. I'm just going to leave it in cash. What do I have? 28,000 in buying power. I'm going to wait. I'm going to leave my 28,000 in cash. I still have, so yeah, let me get these posted. I'll post what I've done. I got a nice multiplier now, so I've got additional leverage I did not have before, which I love. I'm levering down. That's what you should be doing right now. In my opinion, my humble opinion, I'm a high school dropout. I only made it for 1.5 years of high school. So if you're listening to me, you're listening to a guy in his basement who didn't finish school. Now, I think I'm smarter than most of those people. But, again, all right, so you guys get the view into what I did here because you're here. Sold some stuff, bought some stuff. You should subscribe. I try so hard. So you know what the fuck is going on. There you go. Fuck it. I don't care. All right. And then I'll just take that. And that, I don't know if that shows clearly in the Discord. So to be safe, I will copy this now. And I will put this in the Discord. Boom. Ooh, that didn't copy over well. I'll just do this part. All right, let's get back over. All right, and I'll get going again, guys. I'm sorry. Like doing all my trading. Let me just put this in the Discord real quick. Under the today's trading section. All right, there we go. Sold some shit and bought some more. Boom, we're done. All right, let's look over here. Doesn't look like anything too interesting is going on in CNBC land. Let's see what else we got. So we got more economic data coming in 4 minutes, guys. 4 minutes, and we will see what is happening with Chicago PMI. Very exciting. Remind me in three and a half minutes, guys. Remind me in 3.5 minutes as to what's happening. All right, Tesla up 0.81% on the day. Oh, I still have so many fucking contracts on Tesla. Let's just go over here. So even with the 3 I sold, I love, guys, there's nothing better than nibbling off 20K on your Tesla position and still having like shit tons more. Okay? There's nothing like it. It's such a beautiful fucking thing. Let me just hop over here. So again, this isn't totally reflected. I just sold some for like $60.50, I think it was, whatever that number was, right? Or 55, something like that, whatever the fuck it was. But I just sold up again off of being up 5% yesterday on Tesla calls. I just sold more and did even better. And on here, it still shows almost $1 million. With my other account, it's probably over 1.2. Actually, with the fact that it's up today, it's probably at 1.25. Maybe $1.3 million. And I can just nibble off of it every fucking day because this hasn't updated yet. This number actually will go higher. It's lower than it should be right now. This is just so much fun. And the future life won't be like this. All right, let me get caught up with chat. There's stuff going on. CleanSpark is bouncing. Fuck off. Is it really? Son of a bitch. Slow down, CleanSpark. 4.54%. So it's still down. I hope it drops some more. But that's just me being greedy. I got $210,000 in CleanSpark calls that can go up 500%. So I can make a clean milli off of CleanSpark between now and the beginning of the year. Just CleanSpark. Oh, I love life. It's so great, though. It's so great. Oh, shit. Dude, I want to buy, what am I thinking? ARGT. I want to buy ARGT. Let me just get off the screen real quick. I've got to do this on my own, guys. I'll post. I need to buy ARGT. That's what I wanted to do. Let's get over there because I posted about it yesterday and I want to buy it today. I don't know if it's up or down. I don't even give a shit. I just want to start getting into it because it's Argentina and we love Javier Milei. It's down 0.56% on the day. Kind of loving that. What does 100 of these get me? 100 of these is only $6,700. I don't think that's enough. I don't know. 200? 250. 250. It's a nice even number. $16,000 worth of ARGT. I've got my starter pack. I'm going to go ahead and I've acquired ARGT. Let me make a note here. Ah, fuck. Stupid fucking exchange isn't updating the screens. I hate it when that happens. At least it closed. At least I got my trade in. Oh, there we go. Now it's coming back. So I will do another screenshot. And then I will put... Oh. It's weird seeing yourself in a screen. Bought that stock I was talking about in yesterday's. Got to pull people in. Members only video. Oh, but I got to make it a subscriber thing. Otherwise, no point, right? Giving away the farm. All right. Awesome. Dude, oh guys, I was talking too about how there's that $10,000 Glassnode subscription that I was looking at. I might not need that. I might just stick with the subscription I have right now because I don't want to pay 10 grand. First off, you got to sign up for the whole fucking year, and I might still do it. We'll see. But CryptoQuant looks like it offers a cheaper service, so I'm actually checking that out too. So I might be able to. Again, I'm trying to take the benefit that you guys are giving me from supporting this channel, and I want to put it into analytics that I can use and I can share with you guys and I can put in the Discord. So that's the goal. That's what we're shooting for. Also, thank you to the 307 people that are here. Can you guys please hit the like to let people know how much you love what you're watching, or at least pseudo appreciate it because it doesn't suck as much as me, Kevin. That would be great. Let me get caught up with chat. And again, I'm going to get over towards the economic data because I think it came out. Chicago PMI. Let me back up one screen here. So it says, let me just move around to compare. Where's that? Up here. Chicago PMI, 46.6. Forecast 45. Consensus 46.2. This doesn't look like China, does it, guys? We're looking good over here in the States, in Chicago. So again, it's contraction, but it's better than expected. And we like better than expected, because better than expected isn't as bad. Definitely not the 70s, guys, but we have been retraced for a while. Manny247, thank you very much for the 10 memberships gifted, guys. Do you guys get it? You can actually talk and chat now. So if you got this, you can ask questions. And usually what we do at the end of the stream, and we might start doing this now because it looks like we don't have another economic data point here for a little bit, but you can ask about a stock, and you can get me to talk about it. Oh, and we got Rick Santelli, guys, talking about the Chicago PMI data. So I'm going to defer to him because I love Rick and I love listening. If there's anybody that can out-intensify me and their commentary, it is Rick Santelli, a guy who can literally lose his shit and get purple. And I love that about him. So let's watch. Clean Spark's ripping? Shut the fuck up. Is it? Is it really? Let me go back. Clean Spark. Clean Spark. It's down 5%. Are you fucking with me, bro? You fucking with me? Like ripping down. I hope it goes lower. I got more cash to use. I've still got like 12 grand left. Plus, I might sell some more Tesla with it doing so well. Let's see here. Tesla's up 1.5%. Shit, I might sell a contract or two. All right, we're gonna listen to Rick Santelli while I sell a contract or two.
The answer is I told people what it really meant, and that's why they sold.
While we're talking, the Dow's down a couple hundred. Chicago PMI is out. Let's get to Rick Santelli. Hey, Rick.
Hi, good morning.
All right, so to be clear, Tesla calls today, the calls I sold, up over 7% on the day already, guys. 7% on those calls, off of a 1.37% move on Tesla. This is why we do what we do. This is fucking awesome.
Carl, indeed, it's a good news, bad news story. We'll start out with the bad news. This is the 10th consecutive month under 50. You have to go back to November of last year to find a number over 50.
Shit.
The good news, 46.6 is better than we were expecting. That's actually the best level since June when we were at 47.4. Now, if we look at interest rates, we're up across the curve, and there is some flattening going on. We're seeing some of the steepness getting taken out of the market as short rates are moving up pretty aggressively here. We see that the 2-year note at 361 is up a handful of basis points, and the 10-year 377 is up 2 basis points. We continue to monitor all that as Treasury, knowing that next week we have some important supply in the form of 3s, 10s, and 30-year bonds. Squawk on the Street will return.
He loves his bonds. He doesn't seem that upset. Looks pretty good. Let's keep rolling in this real quick. I need to make sure my sales close. It looks like I might sell these for 62.20 or the 62 range.
Break.
This is sick, guys. I'm selling a couple more contracts, not too much. I still have, to put this in perspective, I probably still have 190 between both sites, 190 to 195 contracts. You guys are awesome. Hey, would you blow me? Gives a huge thanks. Looks like it's dropping back down to 62. I'm trying to sell for 62 now. Can I get it 62? 62. Going once. Going twice. Not going. Is it going? Not going. Could it go? Maybe. I don't know. 61.95. Can I get a 61.95? Anybody want to sell for 61.95? Fuck it. I'm just going to leave it there. I don't give a shit. I don't need your money. Whatever. All right. MSTX is already up. Is it really? Oh my God. That's fucking awesome. Let's go back. Let's go back. How much have I made already off of MSTX? I'm up 3% on MSTX since I bought it this morning. I've made $2,600. Oh, fuck. This is fucking awesome. All right, here we go, guys. I'm going to bring it over. Check this shit out. Right down here, MSTX. I'm up $2,700, $2,800 already on my position, guys. And my Tesla just sold. I just sold these two more contracts for 62 or 61.95, guys. So I've still got roughly 190 plus contracts worth over $1.25 to $1.3 million. And I got a bunch more cash now to spend. So I don't know. What do I buy? What do I buy? Should I buy some more Argentina? Stack that Argentina. Should I get some more Micron? Micron's down a little bit. Oh, I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait. Today's such a good day. I got like 33,000 in cash. I'm just going to chill. I've done enough. Didn't even have time to buy the dip, right? Yeah, it's how it works. Now I'm only up 2,100 on MicroStrategy MSTX, but still not bad. All right, let's look at other stuff here, guys. We haven't really done the full like macro roll. Let's do that, and then we'll jump into stocks real quick. And then roughly, what is it, at 9:30, we get our next round of data, which is the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index. If that is better than expected, and remember, the previous was negative 9.7, their forecast for negative 4. If we look here, this has been depressed for a record amount of time, a record amount, longer than 2015 to 16. Not as deep, but longer than the 2008 Great Financial Crisis. And if you look at depth versus length, that's what she said, you'll see, or width versus depth, whatever. I fucked that joke up. Anyway, if you look over here, the contraction that we're seeing for the amount of time is just about as great as the pandemic and the Great Financial Crisis. So we're looking at a pretty big route here, guys. We're looking at a pretty big route over a long period of time. So I'd say that there's a chance for a bounce here. And if we get that, markets are going to go postal today. So that's coming in at 9:30. We're liking that. Let's roll through other stuff, though, guys. Let's do it. Oh, and here, I better silence these
Another
guys.
look as we wrap up Q3 this morning.
Shut the fuck up. All right, over here. Don't really like that guy anyway. All right, CNN, Fear and Greed. That guy's been such an idiot about Tesla. Greed, 73. I don't hate that. I love that we're just hanging out here. I love that we're not in an extreme greed. It doesn't have the full map, but maybe I can get that, guys. Maybe I can get that. I do have this extra service that I forgot I bought for like $800 or something that gave me a whole year. It's called, funnily enough, macromicro.me. And so with that service, it's kind of funnily named, just kind of like me. Let's see, Fear and Greed. I should be able to show you longer time frames. Like I said, when I get the good tools, we buy the good tools and we show you better data than you've ever seen before. That's our goal, right? We're gonna be the best, guys. We're gonna make data better again. So I can go back 10 years on here, it looks like. I think. Oh yeah, I'm going back all the way. Look at this. No, maybe I can't go back. 2021. Whatever. This is a lot better than what you can see on the CNN screen, right? So we'll start using this one. But if you look here, look at how the S&P is doing and look at the Fear and Greed. We're nowhere near the levels of the top of December of 2023. We're nowhere near the levels of June, July of 2023, where we just hovered at extreme greed in the 80s. We're not near that right now. We're also not near it where we were in February of 2023. So this is a pretty awesome. And then look at the depth of where we came out of. So the depth is so much lower than we were. And the markets and macro and everything line up so well. I feel like we're in a really good place and that we could stay here for a while markets go higher. Very excited about. But if you look over here, even in the troughs, guys, like I'm building up cash right now. Look at this. We dumped way down, but look what happened. You bought the bottom. You bought the fear, right? You bought the 30 range, and it goes back up. That's the game plan. We're going to sell a little bit as we go higher. Yeah, you like that value? We're going to sell a little bit as we go higher, and then when we get these dumps into the 30s, guys, we're going to buy that shit up. That's the game plan right now. That's what it is. And we're going to crush it, and we're going to make so much money from it. Let's look here. So again, we're going to keep that up here. We're going to use that going forward. And I've got so many other analytics in here. I probably need to start using this, right? I probably need to start using this. Let's go back over. And the Fear and Greed Index, I'm just going to refresh over here, for crypto is 61, guys. 61. That is still just barely in greed territory. We love that. Crypto can go a lot higher. Let's look at the CME Fed Watch tool and see what they think after everything that's happened here. What are they telling us, guys? For November, whoa, 1 rate cut. I like this. I like this a lot. This is exactly what we want to see, guys. We want to see 1 rate cut. We don't want to see 2. 2 bearish, 1 good. So this is good. We want that 61% sitting on the 1 cut. And let's see here. What are we at today? The NAV on MicroStrategy is at 2.15. So I think we're safe, or 2.175. I think we're still safe, guys, from a Michael Saylor sell. Again, the Michael Saylor sells are probably going to be in like the 2.7s to 3 zone. That's where we're likely to see him sell stock and then dilute and then purchase Bitcoin and then go up like a rock stock, because that's what he does. So that's all good there. Let's check some of the indices here and see how we're sitting. So the S&P is down 0.1% on a day where I'm making a bunch of money. I don't hate that. I don't hate it. And this is showing that I'm losing money, but that ain't true, because if we scroll down here, a bunch of this stuff hasn't updated. Well, maybe CleanSpark is getting butchered. What are the calls looking like? Are they down a lot? Not even that bad. Not even that bad. So it looks like ARKG is down. I'm not even down that much. This isn't accurate, because these aren't even booking in at the 62 roughly that they're selling for. So we're actually up a higher amount than that. But yeah, maybe I should buy more. Should I? I don't own. I got a lot of MSTX right now. What should I buy? I don't have a lot of Iron, but Iron did do a massive amount of share dilution, and they got HPC, which I don't really know if I believe in yet. Bitfarms is down a decent amount. BITX is down 5.74. That's like a less volatile version of Bitcoin. I'm just going to wait. I still got the 30,000. We'll just sit. Do I want to? I'm just going to buy a little bit of this. Oh, well, I'll do it later. Fuck it. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going here. Where was I? Yes, S&P. So down 0.15%. Let's look over at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is flat on the day. That's great. This still looks super bullish on the NASDAQ, guys. This looks great. You got this tweezer bottom. You got this wicked bounce down here. Just, it really looks positive. I could see the NASDAQ still being a leader for a while. And then the Russell is the one that's actually up. So again, people are dialing down the risk curve. Feels very similar to what we're seeing right now in shitcoins, where they're not really hurting that bad considering how much Bitcoin is down. If you look at shitcoins over the last month, and let's just compare them instead of dollar, let's compare them to Bitcoin. Look at how much they've outperformed Bitcoin. This is compared to Bitcoin. Sui's up 96% in a month compared to Bitcoin. Say is up 50%. Bonk is up 28%. Ordi's up 31%. Injective's up 22%. So again, shitcoins are outperforming Bitcoin right now, and we love to see that. So this is good stuff right now. Very good stuff. I'll switch them back to dollar. Some of the other little shittier ones could do a little bit better in dollar-related terms. But this is a positive. I'm really liking what we're seeing. Let's look at the rest of the stuff, okay? What's the dollar doing today, guys? Fubo's up almost 6. I don't love Fubo, but hey, man, I'm rooting for you guys. So I have my 2 paths that we can go down because I was a little conflicted on which way we're going. We are breaking under the 200 moving average, though, on the weekly time frame. Not a great sign. We definitely want to see a bounce here. If we don't see a bounce here, we could roll down into the 98s. This would be bullish for markets. Keep this in mind, though. We are down on the weekly. We're at oversold conditions on the RSI. So I could see us. Here's what I think is probably more likely, guys. I see something like this. Okay? I see something like this where maybe the dollar can trend up a little bit, and maybe it doesn't do it quickly. Maybe it does something kind of slow, and then it can't even get it up, and then it rolls over. I could see something like this. So that's my latest thought process on the dollar. Real quickly, while we're in here with the dollar, let's look at the let's look at the Japanese yen versus the dollar. The dollar is gaining strength against the yen, but again, in super safe place, really hasn't done much of anything. The Chinese yuan, is the yuan weakening still? It is. Or actually, the dollar gained just a little bit of strength, but again, we're kind of getting near a support zone. I think we'll end up sticking that, and then we'll probably have the dollar strengthened against the yuan, which will be painful for China, but they're stimulating a bunch right now, so we'll see how that goes. For now, they win that battle. The ruble down a little bit, but again, it just looks like the dollar is going to gain strength against the ruble. I kind of expect something like this in the months ahead. Maybe that gets better, though, if the war comes to an end. If Trump can end the war with and again, he already met with Zelensky. You know Zelensky's hedging his bets. And he literally said with him sitting right there, we're going to end this war. And so Zelensky has some pawns that he can play with since he's on the turf of Russia now. And so if they end that, this could actually end up going the other way. And we could see the ruble getting better because of the hope of being able to start connecting again with the United States, if not Europe. So we could see something like probably this, where it falls and it starts to find some support and it chills out a little bit and then maybe eventually rolls over even more. Put call ratio. Are people buying insurance? No, they fucking aren't. Well, I mean, technically it's up 6% today, but again, I've given you the trend here. It can go back up, but it will go back down. So this is what I see us doing in the next year, roughly, is this kind of trend. Because this is, I've said it a bunch of times, but when you have this impulse up, you trade down and people don't hedge. When you have these impulses up, you trade down and people don't hedge. When you have this impulse up, there's only one over here that happened where it was a really quick one and then it just traded up. Outside of that, though, if we look here, the trend, and again, another one here where it had one quick impulse, then it traded up. But you could see this from this impulse that happened in December of 2022, the trend is very clear. It is down. It is down. So this is a good thing. This is what we want to see. There's only been 2 times where it went in the opposite direction, going back to 2006. So this is a pretty good indication that we're going to be in a good place here just from oscillation alone. Let's look at other stuff. Let's check the heat map again here and see what it's sitting at. Back over here somewhere. There it is. Let's refresh it. Make sure we're getting the latest and greatest. Thank you to roughly the 300 people that are still here. Tesla's still at 1.37. Everything's looking pretty good. Nothing too crazy. Let's see how the other stocks I love so much are doing. So we know Tesla's doing all right. Let's look at PayPal. PayPal up 0.67%. I'm loving that too. So again, PayPal finding strength. I had this like it could break down thing. I don't even know if it's going to do that. It's already seeing strength, so maybe it doesn't even do this. Maybe it ends up just literally trying to break higher. That would be amazing. I'm going to save this real quick. I'll move this over a little bit to try and represent the time that I think it could happen in. Yeah, I think that's about right. All right, so PayPal looking good, guys, up 0.67% on the day. Again, lots of good news with PayPal. $80 billion market cap, could still run. Still a cash cow. This thing is a beautiful looking company, and it's just getting better. Hood, up to no good, down 1.28% on the day. It looks like finding support off the previous resistance here. I think that's bullish. I think this thing could scream. I think they have an announcement, too, on 10/16, right? Something like that. SoFi. Anybody know what that announcement's going to be? SoFi, it looks like up 1% on the day. Again, find a nice steady support here on the monthly candle on the .618 and looking like it wants to go higher. I would not call this bearish at all. These wicks, this wick here, guys, massive. This wick here, massive. Tested way down, found support still on this zone, and then got above the .618 on the monthly time frame. Looks really bullish to me for SoFi. Square up 1% on the day. Off of peak volumes. Looks like it wants to run. I could see us getting to 78, 79 pretty quick. Palantir continues its rollover. If only someone could have told us How to read CPCS? Oh, I'll tell you in a second. I was kind of telling you, but I'll show it to you. Palantir, if only someone could have told us that it's going to roll over. If only someone could have been saying that the last several days. If only someone. But nonetheless, we have nobody to help us. All right, ARG up 2% on the day. Loving that. Also, I need to probably add this chart, guys. I need to make a chart real quickly for ARGT, my Argentinian fund. I need to get that in the Discord. I also need to add one probably for Micron. I don't think I have that in the Discord either. But we're going to need to. We're going to need to because we got this stuff. Did I already make one, actually, before I save this? Let's just go back. I need to make sure I didn't already make one. Because, I mean, I usually do. Yeah, okay. Let's go to this one. Yeah, I did. Okay, so let's not reinvent the fucking wheel. So we are ARGT, guys, is trying to break out. Fuck it, I'm going balls deep. I'm going balls deep on ARGT. I'm just gonna get a little more, just a little bit. I just need a little bit more. 1 second here, and then we'll get back to it. I'm just gonna throw in another 150. I need to make this into some kind of position. It needs to be at least a decent starter pack. And now we got $27,000. I will post my trades here in a second. $27,000 in ARGT. Cool. So, yeah, this looks good. It looks like the .618. It looks like the next step is probably in the 78s. I really like this play. It pays a dividend. Watch my video. Subscribe if you do not already. And again, it might not find support here. It might roll over more. That's okay. If we go down to the 65 range, I will buy more. I am perfectly okay with this thing dropping. I don't mind at all. Already down. Let's see. How much off the highs? Let me see here real quick. It is down off of recent highs. Yeah, about 5%. Nothing crazy. All right. Anyway. Let's get back over here to it. So we got our RGT, Argentina, sitting good here. I'm going to change this to red. So we did a little bit of buying and selling, guys. We sold like $100,000 worth of shit. We bought like $85,000 worth of shit. So pretty good, pretty decent trading day. All right, let me leave this one without saving. And I'll clean some of this up and I'll get her saved in there for you guys. But anyway, ARCG up 2.22% on the day. This is another one where I've been saying the chart looks great. This is a 10x multiple of the underlying asset if the options chain looks like it did before. If this thing doubles, I make 10x my money. And I've got somewhere around $200,000. So if this thing doubles, I can make 10 times that. So what is that? 20x? Is that right? No, 1,000%. My brain's tripping. Whatever. So I can make $2 million. I'll take it. I'll take it. All right. Getting caught up with chat now, guys. I did lose a little bit over here. So let me just look. I'm going to catch up real quickly with the X side of chat. Well, maybe I'll have to do that in a second. But, yeah. We'll try and do that. I'm going to also, I need to refresh this down over here because I want to be current on what's going on in CNBC just in case they get an interesting person on here. It doesn't always happen. If you guys are in chat, though, say hi so I know my chat's working. And I'll try and get through here. So, Anthony, MSTX already up. Yep, doing good on that, man. MSTX up about $2,600 per this right now, just today. Loving it. Nice recovery. Didn't even have time to buy the dip, says Alex. David Chapinda. And again, we have more economic data coming out in 21 minutes. David Chapinda says, CleanSpark. I agree. Soaring shitty. 1 million market buy. SoFi, please. David Chapinda, did you buy spot calls or on Micron? I'm not buying calls right now. I have been buying on spot. It looks like Micron's down 3% on the day. Let me actually pull up Micron. I might be interested in buying a little Micron dip. Little Micron dip? Anybody call for some Micron dip? Let me get in here. I just got to see where it's sitting. Got to see if it looks worthy. So Micron is still down. And I really need to make that video to make this interesting. It's down 34% from its recent high. It did fall as low as 46.67, so quite the drop. When the the AI narrative kind of came to a brutal end, all of a sudden, and Nvidia retraced, and then you had that SMCI news. They threw the baby out with the bathwater here, for sure. So I do like where Micron's sitting. I'm going to buy a little bit. And I do need to do more research and make sure that my conviction is strong. But again, this is like a starter pack, so I don't care as much. And I own a lot more in Argentina. So let's do a little Micron. I want some more AI exposure. I don't have enough. Yvonne over on X says, hi. Thanks, Yvonne. Haywood Jablomi says, Jesse, do you look at whale activity when buying or selling? I used to pay more attention to that. I used to look at buy and sell walls and other stuff. I've gotten so good with macro fundamentals of a company and the financials and technicals that I don't really feel like I have to, honestly. It's just something I do not give a shit about. Let me see. I'm going to try and buy maybe 85 microns. 85 microns. Got to get some microns up in here. Still got a little bit of cash left. About, I don't know, $6,000 or something. Maybe 7. Yeah, I should give an update on orders. I think, actually, I got to go to the bathroom. Let me do this. We're going to give you guys some catching up. I'm going to start you at the beginning because this guy is actually fairly insightful and maybe he has something good to say. So let me go back. Oh, Stellantis is getting crushed. I'm going to let you guys see this because I had to hit the bathroom real fast. So I'm going to let the volume go here real quick.
Overseas.
I'll be back.
And we see that in the stock. Just the latest in a slew of European automakers to lower profit warnings. The quote here, deterioration in the global industry backdrop reflects a lower 2024 market forecast in the beginning of the period, while competitive dynamics have intensified due to both rising industry supply as well as increased China competition. Something to note, obviously autos are a very cyclical business.
Meantime, S&P, Dow, NASDAQ all on pace to end September in the green. S&P's on pace for its 4th positive quarter in a row. That would be the first time since 2021. Joining us here at Post 9 with more on the road ahead is Trivariate Research CEO and CNBC contributor Adam Parker. AP, morning.
Great to see you guys. How we doing?
Good. Do you think this China rally is sustainable?
I think there's legs to it. I think if you're a generalist portfolio manager trying to beat the S&P 500 and you work at a big asset manager, you probably bought something last week. You probably said, all right, let me get a casino, maybe I'll buy a Las Vegas or Wynn, maybe I'll buy Freeport. They showed me a little something, and we've seen in the past when they do it, they can do more, and I might as well add a few percent there. So I think there's probably a good risk reward to owning some of it, as you guys talked about just now. Some of it was pretty beaten down and hated. People were short. That kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think it's a way to get a little cyclical exposure.
You don't sound overly excited about it.
The challenge is when you analyze we looked at the last 11 times that China stimulated and what it meant for U.S. equities, and it averages kind of garbage because sometimes they stimulated like in 2022 when we were
I love it. He's honest, too. He's like, yeah, they stimulate. None of it fucking means anything.
raising rates and everything was getting killed. So it's hard to use the historical perspective and say there's a definite playbook. You buy the cyclicals. I think you have to look at stocks in the U.S. that are correlated to these shares or, acted well last week and you feel like there's a little bit of legs to it. And I think casinos or copper maybe make the most sense with what I know right now.
How about this notion that, we're entering a little better seasonality.
Yeah.
But this overall notion that near-term chop, medium-term upside. Do you agree?
Whenever the consensus always agrees on something, I've learned that doesn't happen that way. I think the worst thing is, I've learned this in the last 25 years. There's nothing worse than being a consensus bear and then you're wrong. Right? You come into September, you think it's going to be choppy, and then the market has a good month, So, the best thing is you're a contrarian bull and you're right? So I think everyone thinks it's going to be choppy. Look, I don't see how October earnings are going to be great. I don't see how we're going to get a lot of guidance up. The Q4 numbers are for more than normal seasonal hockey stick in there. So there's a lot that these companies need to tell you. And you're seeing some, I would say,
doesn't
real
matter when
companies,
global liquidity
FedEx,
is
ones
strong.
that have broader implications, tell you things are slowing. Stellantis, I just should say, it's not a real company. It's got real dollars in rev.
They
so
suck.
there's enough out there to say, I know it's slowing. The question is, will people care? So what we wrote a couple weeks ago is 90% chance that numbers come lower, 10% they come up, 50-50 whether the stock market goes up or not, because I think people are going to see through to the possibility of a better 2025.
What about election risk, which I started talking about? You know, this idea.
I heard you. I was surprised you're talking. Why today? Well, we got a lot of
We
wood
have
to
a
chop.
VP debate tomorrow.
You think that's going to
I think it's
A VP debate?
yeah.
Yeah, I can't think.
Oh,
so
dude.
I don't care.
I got to say that VP debate is going to be fucking amazing, guys. I will be doing a stream for the VP debate because I think that it's going to be insane how much JD Vance tears apart Tim Walz. And it will be notable. It might not be on mainstream, but it'll be notable.
I'm looking forward to
I
it.
don't care.
I would like to know
I don't care.
how these people.
I don't care. I don't care.
But your clients don't care?
No.
Really?
I mean, I talked to,
So again, the same place that's trying to tell you that we should start censoring X and the last guy that they had on here earlier today are also trying to tell you not to care about the VP presidential debate. But I think you should.
what I do all day, right? I talk to institutional investors who run giant portfolios. Nobody is going to say I'm really thinking about the VP debate in terms of how I position
Not the
my
VP
portfolio.
debate, but the overall election risk policies like tariffs,
Totally.
higher taxes.
I think, look, it is really hard to position a portfolio right now for what's going to happen on November 5th, even if we know anything on November 5th.
We're not going to know anything
I
on November 5th,
disagree
most
with
likely.
the summary of the note you just referenced, because when you go back to 1928 and you look at, DDR, DDD, RD, all the combinations for Senate, House, what's the sample size on the sweep? 2, 3? I mean,
there haven't been that many.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So for me to
But
say
interestingly, they've
this is just
outperformed.
like 1940, I mean, that's the one data point that I gotta
So you just
pull out.
wait. You just got to wait.
Well, I think
until after the election, or whenever we actually know who the winner is, which probably won't be that
What
day.
reliable polling source do I? We've all learned that the risk reward positioning that isn't great. So I think you have to say, all right, where can I?
We know this historically, at least the last several cycles, we have really good years. And actually, even going back historically, too, we have really good years. Neither one of these candidates is talking about not spending money. One's talking about a lot of taxation that could cause a lot of problems, like a lot of problems, especially if she had a mandate. I don't think she can. She's not going to win the Senate. So he's probably right. Markets go up no matter what. Let me see here real quick. Let me get through chat again. Pissing is overvalued, yes, and I did not take a dump. I just want to be clear. CleanSpark evidently is dumping. I was not. So let's be real here, guys. All right, let's take a look at CleanSpark real fast, and then we'll get the rest of his commentary. Ooh, down 6.38. Do we actually have news on CleanSpark, guys? Let me check the Discord. Is anybody talking about this in the Discord? Let me just go back over here. CleanSpark. Let me go into there. Let's go to the most relevant. Let's clear this out. Today at 7, that was the last post. We're seeing nothing in there. Let me go back over here. I want to search. I just want to see if there's any reason for why we're dumping on CleanSpark. Or is this just Bitcoin taking a dump too? Oh yeah, Bitcoin's down to 63.6, so it's retraced a little bit. So it might just be that. That's not crazy by any means. CLSK is happy to dedicate this crypto klepto clown. People hate him. I actually blocked him a long time ago. I just can't handle people that are a pain in the ass. Georgia power outage map is showing 299 customers are affected by currently 10 power outages, all in the Sandersville area. I'm not sure if CLSK is inclusive to those 299, but that's 6,000 total residents. It's probably included. Have they actually said anything, though? Have we gotten any kind of correspondence? They should really... They're usually really good about things. They should say something. They should say something. They should at least give some kind of update. It would be the smartest thing they could do. But let's see if Matt says anything. We'll check Zach too. I mean, I would say something. Even if it was bad, I would at least get a message out there. Hey guys, we're working on it. We're gonna have an update later on. I would be saying something. All right, I doubt Zach Bradford has anything too, but what the fuck? We'll check. Is it Bradford? Yeah, Zach, okay. Oh, why am I not following Zach? What the fuck? All right, let's see here. Quiet as can be. I don't love that. That's probably what's hurting the stock price. So, not that it has to be anything real. it just sucks because again, when people can't figure out what's going on, they get worried, and so that's what happens. That's what ends up happening. All right, let's go back over here real quick. So we have 10 minutes right now. 10 minutes. We'll listen to what else they have to say here on CNBC. We have 10 minutes until the next data point. Probably shortly after that, I might actually save stock tickers for this afternoon, guys. I got a lot going on today. Hopefully getting my truck too, but just a lot going on. So we'll see. Let me just see if questions have anything that I need to know. Probably right decision, TFB. That's what I said to him. Alex Garcia got here late, but now I'm caught up. Hearing Jesse at 1.5x speed looks like he had 5 coffees. I already talk fast enough. I can't imagine what 1.5x does. Kevin, is MSTX still a good buy? I like it. I mean, I bought a bunch today. I actually just bought like $70,000 or $80,000 worth today. I dumped my MicroStrategy. And I bought, I guess 60,000 worth today. It's up 2% since I bought it, but still down overall. I might buy some more, honestly. I think I'm just gonna empty my cash load. We're gonna expunge my load all over this. What is that? 500. Let me just get rid of the last 5K I have. Who needs cash? Fuck that. All right, 150. I think we'll do it. All right, and then we're going to play this out while we're listening here.
Dream that, what are equities? Buy my little dream today, sell it to a sucker with a bigger dream later. It's like, do you see anything that can, maybe it's healthcare services, maybe they could have a lot of upside. It depends, I don't agree that a sweep on either way is good for the market. I think then you get.
Completely fucking disagree. A sweep for Trump would be huge for the markets. Huge. I mean, you might have Democrats selling because they think Hitler is in power. But outside of that, the markets would fucking love it. They would bounce hard as shit.
The risk.
And I do think that it's smart, guys. If we make a bunch of money on Tesla, PayPal, heading into election time, 5 weeks from now, that you do have some cash or some hedges in place so that you can try and get a bounce.
Of tail.
Democrats actually do invest. You'd be surprised. People don't realize this, but most of the really, really rich are Democrats right now. It's just things have switched since the 80s and 90s. The richest party is the Democrat, and they've got the backing of the military-industrial complex, the pharmaceutical industry. They've turned into the thing that they hated in the 60s and 70s and 80s. They've turned into it. So, but they are the power of money. If you think about all the richest of rich people, most of them, especially in Silicon Valley, they're all Democrats. In New York, they're all Democrats. There's only the Donald Trumps, the Elon Musks, and a handful of others. Like Chamath is probably a centrist. And then you got David Sachs and Peter Thiel. But outside of those guys, man, they're all Democrats.
Things happen.
And yeah, Nancy Pelosi, the queen of investing, right? They're all Democrats. It's actually, people don't think it, but they are.
Happening on policy. So I guess I'm the consensus that I think the gridlock would be better.
Tepper said that last week.
Yeah, I'm not giving my own political view. I'm just saying I think the gridlock could be good because you just get less fringy things happening.
And the note said that too.
If you look at the sociologists who are experts on this stuff.
Gridlock, good if Kamala gets elected. Gridlock, bad if Donald Trump. Well, I shouldn't say that. Gridlock is probably going to have the same result either way, but it's much better, I would say, for Trump to be in the president. He's going to keep his previous tax plan, which is beneficial for corporations. He's going to lower corporate tax. He's going to eliminate taxes for people with tips. I mean, Kamala's going to do that too because she piggybacked off of it. They're both doing the child tax credit. And then also, you're going to see no threats of unrealized gains taxes. You're going to see people with Social Security have their taxes removed so that they've got a larger income. So the bottom cohorts are really going to benefit. And then the hourly overtime thing, getting rid of taxes on that, you would see such an expansion. You would see so much pro-growth. Plus the manufacturing, bringing back manufacturing, getting exemptions and additional tax cuts too for people that bring manufacturing back to the United States that help fill the need for jobs. Because again, we brought in so many illegal immigrants. It's going to be beneficial. It's going to be really beneficial. I think we get a big boost. You can hold me to it.
20% of America, around 10% on each side, have extreme views. So the question is, like, is there any real policy in the middle that can get done? Is it going to happen where we can get earnings growth dreams post the election? Maybe. I think if you're a CEO or CFO, you're saying, why don't I wait a little bit to really deploy capital, understand what my 3-year algorithm looks like post the election? Okay, I can see that. So I can see a little bit of a soft spot until we get post election, then I can deploy the plan for a 3-year view. So I hate being the consensus say it's going to be a soft October, but I think the numbers are going to probably come lower. And if I'm a CFO of a real company, why would I make a big decision now until I have a little bit of a better understanding?
I think he's 100% right about that.
Hope by the end of November or whenever we know what the plans are.
Have you made any changes to 25 EPS?
All right, real quickly, Daniel Dibbs says, breaking, Ohio State Senator Anthony pushes a bill to allow state and local taxes to be paid in Bitcoin. That's awesome. If it passes, that'll be really cool.
We haven't, but we advise people what I just told you, which is maybe add a little copper or a little casinos on China. I think it is a positive. Look, you still have this big incongruity, which is we know the economy's slowing, and yet we know the Fed's going to stimulate, and all of us have learned you don't want to fight the Fed. But the challenge with that analysis is in the past, you also had balance sheet expansion and incremental fiscal stimulus. We're not going to get that in the next 5, 6, 7 weeks. So I'm stuck looking at corporate earnings. I am excited.
He needs to focus on global liquidity expansion. It's expanding all over the place, including China, and it doesn't have to be effective for what it does with the economy and expanding margins initially. None of that matters. It's just money flowing into the system, which allows people to invest, even if the factors behind them don't look as good. Look at China. It's a fucking disaster, and yet China is just going up like crazy. Right? Like China's doing really, really well, even though their economy is absolute shit. So that ours isn't even that bad. Let me see here. God dang it. HSI? Do I have HSI? Yeah, there we go. So ours isn't even that bad, guys. And we're doing way better than they are. And look at the bounce they just had. Like, this is insane. If you look at this, their economy's still shit. They're 77 or 37% off the highs. They're still sitting at a level that they were at in 2007. So all that is true. But how much did they just launch and over what period of time? Just even if we go back just here to August, how much is this stock market up? And this is just the Hang Seng. This isn't everything. This thing went up over 30%. 30% in 2 months. Can you imagine what would happen if the S&P went up 30% in 2 months? This is what liquidity does. And then people that make money on this, they're going to try and get it the fuck out of China. So he's just not focused on the right stuff, and he's talking out of both sides of his head.
Excited about a lot of things that I think have pricing power independent of the economy. I see a lot of them in healthcare. So I'm trying.
Oh my God. Is everybody hanging out together? Is Liz from SoFi hanging out with them? Are they having coffee?
I've been sort of overweight that part of the market, services, hospitals, distributors, and other things, because I think they're going to benefit from productivity. I don't think they have to do any hiring as they grow their revenue, and so all of a sudden the historical margin algorithm isn't relevant to the future. So there's things to own, but I wouldn't say, train left the station for the next 20% this quarter. I think it's going to be a little bit more complicated than that.
Looks like they're pumping the markets here, at least. All the small, if you look at health and technology services, a lot of the small ones are actually doing pretty good today. mRNA, I don't know, maybe it's the day to pump all this kind of shit, but it looks like it's doing okay today. But again, I don't think there's going to be a great rotation into this. I don't think this is the primary focus. I do think that companies like NVIDIA have seen their tops, or at least won't see huge growth, because NVIDIA is a $3 trillion company, and $3 trillion could go a long way in the rest of the market. So I think the big dogs are going to be taking a breather, but I think money's going to be flowing everywhere, guys. It's going to be flowing fucking everywhere. And you definitely want to own Tesla. You definitely want to own Bitcoin right now. Let's see. We're 1 minute away from economic data.
That's what I'm telling you.
I know it's been one of your favorites for a while. One of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff in there, so we'll see. But
I might call it after this. We'll see who's up next on here. I'm just going to skip the rest of his because I feel like he didn't really have much to say. He's just a less good-looking version of Liz. Let's see here. Oh, wait. I saw some Tesla thing. What was that about? We're going to go back. I want to see.
From a critical labor walkout that could cost billions and impact the economy. We're going to talk to the head of the
totally agree,
Port of
Bitcoin,
Los
man.
Angeles.
Tesla shares on pace for their best month and quarter of the year, outperforming the rest of Mag 7. We'll talk about what to do with the shares here.
And it's a deal decades in the making. DirecTV acquiring EchoStar's direct broadcast satellite business. That's basically Dish and Sling TV. We'll have the CEO of EchoStar joining us later this hour. A lot more ahead for you. Squawk on the Streets right back.
All right, we'll leave that playing just so I know when they get back. I love this. I love paying for this because then they go to commercial break and I don't have to worry about getting copyright. Well, I guess I'm not even monetized. What does it fucking matter? I keep forgetting that I turned off ads. I don't care about that shit anymore. All right, let's check out the Dallas Fed, see what we're doing here. Yeah, this isn't small. The Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index is pretty decent. And again, Fed Chair Powell coming up at 1. I probably will do a session, guys. I'll probably fire up something at 12:45 just to do that, just to see if he says anything interesting that might move markets. And then otherwise, you can catch me at 3 p.m. in the market recap. As long as my truck doesn't get done early, and if that happens, I'll let you guys know on X. But let's see what happens. We got about, Dallas Fed came in -9. -9. Wanted a -4. Came in worse than expected. So we might see a little bit further decline. Again, this is just showing more pain in the sector. It's not a bad number. I mean, it's not crazy. We were -9.7. So it's in decline still, and it's slightly better than last. But it ain't great. So we could get a further drop across markets here. We definitely could. So let's do this. We'll switch it to the last hour just to get a better idea of where things might be headed here as they update. So we'll just leave this here and let it sit for a second. And then actually, you know what? Bitcoin's probably such a better barometer, Bitcoin and Tesla. Let's just see where we're sitting on those. Bitcoin 63,812, down 2.72. So we'll just leave that up. We'll take a look at Tesla, flat on the day. Not looking too bad. Don't hate it. Still down 40. What is it down? 40+%? 42% from its all-time high. And people are bearish. Fucking A. Bitcoin doesn't give a shit at all. Nope. Tesla seems to give a couple of shits. Bitcoin, they're kind of giving a shit. They're starting to catch up. Let's look over here. See what we got over here. This one might not refresh as quickly. See if we end up going one way or the other. It's not really doing much. Can't really say there's a definitive pattern one way or the other. Holy shit, just looked at SoFi Weekly chart volume. Biggest volume bar since ever. 101 million? Really?
East and Gulf Coast dock workers, less than 24 hours.
All right, we want to listen to that dock thing here in a second. But I am curious about SoFi. You got me intrigued. What does the volume look like? I mean, weekly. Let me check weekly. What volume? I'm not looking. I don't know that we're seeing the same thing, dude. Holy shit. Just looked at SoFi Weekly's chart volume. Biggest volume bar since ever. I don't know if it is. Doesn't look like it from here, dude. Not from what I'm seeing. Are you on daily? Maybe. I mean, daily looks better. We're only partly through the day. Looks like we could have a decent number. But I don't see any crazy volume. Alexander, hey Jesse, why didn't you get the big headphones? The big headphones. Aren't these big enough? These cost me $1,300 with the amp. Aren't these good enough? Are these not good enough? I'm sorry. I spent a lot on them. They sound fucking beautiful, dude. You listen to music on this and it feels like somebody bought you new ears. No joke. All right, let's get back over here. I want to see if they have anything valid to say about the strike.
Hours away from striking across.
Let me go back one.
Nose.
That's probably what it is.
East and Gulf Coast dock
no
workers
worries.
less than 24 hours away from striking across dozens of ports. Some reports estimating the stoppage could cost the U.S. economy $5 billion a day. But that said, some retailers anticipating a strike are already redirecting imports to the West Coast. And joining us now, Port of LA Executive Director Gene Soroka. Thank you very much for joining us, Gene. It's great to have you back.
Good morning, Sarah. Nice to see you.
So you two, what are you seeing as we head into this port closure on the Gulf and East Coast?
Yeah, here in Los Angeles, our business is up 17% year over year. We've had an exceptionally strong peak season. And as we close out Q1 today, it should be our best all time.
Because retailers and other businesses are rerouting shipments?
Several reasons. Number one, the underlying U.S. economy remains strong. These purchase orders that go in from retailers and manufacturers typically start off the process 90 to 120 days before cargo makes its way here to the West Coast. Those numbers continue to be strong.
This guy sounds like a news reporter. All right, let's keep listening.
On the ground for about a year and a half now, folks have been a little bit worried.
The weather up in the north is a little stormy.
Worried about protracted labor negotiations and have told me they fractionally shift some of their allocation over the past months here to Los Angeles.
That's good. I like the fact that they've been rerouting because of this concern so that they don't have to worry about a big backlog. That's good. That buys us time.
In Long Beach, we also had drought conditions in the Panama Canal limiting the number of container ships crossing, and the ongoing security issues in the Red Sea have cargo routing around Africa, increasing transit time and cost.
So
He's such a
what are
weatherman.
you prepared for? Are you expecting a
fuck is this
bigger
guy?
influx as these other major ports are set to close?
We're running at about 80% of effective capacity, so still have room to grow. And all this cargo that's come through here during this calendar year has been moved quite efficiently. There are no backlogs, no ships at anchor here in LA.
The barometric pressure is looking good today, guys. Nice and sunny in LA.
What do you think this is going to do for the economy?
He sounds like the guy from The Big Short. Yeah, I could kind of see that.
That JP Morgan estimate of $5 billion per day, does that sound right to you? How massive is this going to be?
Even port closures for one day, Sarah, aren't going to help anybody. Realistically, these dock workers have gone through a cycle where the economy has changed. Profits have been earned by companies that need to reinvest.
Oh, now this is an interesting map. Consumer import value this year as of July. Look at how much more goes through LA Long Beach, guys, and Seattle. And even if you add up West Coast and then like look at New York, New Jersey, Baltimore, look at Savannah. Savannah might be, so what the port closure, what might be the most interesting is the fact that, again, you could get the shutdown in like Houston and around this area, but it's nothing for volume. But Savannah and Charleston, these all got hit by the storm. And maybe even up, I don't know how, Virginia, I think, is probably somewhat safe. North Carolina got hit pretty hard. But these, along with that, could cause some problems. But it looks like there's tons of capacity here. I'm actually going to take a screenshot. This gets me way less worried about this. This is just fucking noise. This is just fucking noise. This doesn't matter. This doesn't fucking matter.
And these dock workers need to get paid. So we hope for a swift resolution, make sure these folks continue talking, because collective bargaining is really hard. But the economic impact...
And don't forget your umbrellas.
I'm hopeful is very short and we can catch up quickly.
Yeah, Gene, it seems like the last big story regarding ports that the market had to deal with would have been the Port of Baltimore. And at the time, the conversation centered very quickly on autos and auto parts. Would you expect that to be the similar narrative if, in fact, this goes on for a while?
Carl, these are ports from Maine to Texas, about 36 of which employing 42,000 dock workers. It is a really big deal. But again,
okay,
trying to get down to the tactics of making sure that the workers get what they need, companies continue to bring in this cargo is of paramount importance.
I take that back. It says, so Baltimore, Brunswick, Georgia, another significant auto port, Philadelphia, New Orleans. Let's see what else we have here. So it's a decent amount. So we're looking at 34 billion, 14. So that's 48 billion. And then maybe part of Savannah-ish. So this is actually This is more than I thought it was. I don't know that I fully understood. So that is a decent amount. But again, there's other ports that are open, and the West Coast has massive volume. And he said they've been preparing for this for weeks, if not longer.
Making sure that these gateways stay open as we're on the doorstep of the retail holiday season just adds another layer to underscore that we need to get this done quickly.
Do you think the Biden administration is going to have to
From
step in?
Maine to Texas.
Well, it's my understanding that the administration has been very active working with both sides. And of course, they have to. This is so important to the U.S. economy. And we've seen even the Atlanta Fed come out with the revised numbers for Q3's estimate, strong once again. Any blip, any movement to the economy.
So important to the U.S. economy that the shoremen are actually, the longshoremen are refusing to endorse Biden and are pissed off at him and are talking with Donald Trump to try and resolve the matter. That's what's happening.
Is obviously a big impact overall. But what we've seen so far, steady as it goes, got to keep these talks moving in progress to get a deal completed quickly.
Right, but Gene, we can all remember when you had your strike, or what was it, 13 days? I mean, and all those ships that just, I mean, it did, it was only less than 2 weeks, but it took months, didn't it, for things to get back to sort of normal? Would that be your expectation? Were the same thing to happen here on the East Coast?
Yeah, good morning, David. And that's the basic math. A day out of work means it probably takes you a week to clean up. A week probably means 4 to 6 weeks. That's all simulation and conjecture at this point in time. Again, any type of port closure means that it impacts the workforce, the families, the communities, businesses around those ports that count on folks going to work every day. And while we did not have any strikes here on the West Coast of the United States related to our dock workers, we all too well remember those 109 ships backed up during the COVID-19 surge of import cargo, and it took us the better part of 8 months to clean up. Different circumstances. Cargo sitting at the Port of LA, using that complex as a warehouse because we were buying just in case, no longer just in time. This will be a little bit different. But again, making sure that the Employers Association, the U.S. Maritime Alliance, and the International Longshore Association, the ILA, are at the table talking to resolve their issues around pay, robotics, and other work rules is what has to be done right now.
Right. And yeah, for clarification, sorry, thank you, Gene, for clarifying. You guys did not suffer a strike. I was referring, of course, to what you brought up, which was just what occurred as a result of the pandemic and the like. Thank you for that.
Gene, I just want to dwell on your comments about the economy that you said, strong volumes, strong shipments, because the economy is going well. And try to square that with what we've gotten, for instance, from FedEx just recently on the latest quarter, which they saw a macro deterioration and weaker than expected results. So is it because of the different shipping or different kind of products that you're exposed to, different parts of the economy?
Yeah, that's right, Sarah. And different folks have seen outcomes that are unique. In our case, on the surface transportation side, 90% of world trade moves on water. Replenishing inventories has been key. The U.S. consumer continuing to buy, and American manufacturing kind of moving sideways, never fell off that cliff that some observers have said. Well, what I have heard from folks like J.B. Hunt, FedEx, and others is that the intermodal cargo, the domestic transfer of cargo by truck, a little bit slower than they would like. Some even call that a freight recession. Where we've seen the uptick is that intact ocean box, the cargo coming from Asia, going to some 15 Midwestern distribution points, is up year over year in very strong fashion.
Okay, well, that's good to hear, Gene. Thank you very much for giving us a real-time update. Gene Soroka. He's the executive director of the Port of LA.
Well, coming up, we're going to have the CEO of EchoStar.
I don't care. All right. That guy's kind of a cheese dick, but valuable information. So it looks like that actually is a huge amount of the ports all the way from Baltimore to Houston. So the impact could be pretty great. But it sounds like they've done a pretty good job at least trying to mitigate and work with other ports in case this actually ended up happening, which it sounds like they're ready for. I'm sure it's going to be political. I'm sure it's going to be weird, and I'm sure it's going to be interesting. But I don't know how impactful it will be to markets. I think it's probably going to be more of a talking point than anything. probably like an election talking point more than anything. But I think for now, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it. We've been running for about 2 hours and 45 minutes or some shit. So I think I'm going to call it for now. And then again, at 1 o'clock or a little bit before, if Jerome Powell's speaking, I will have that going. And then at 3 p.m., I'll be back. Might run till about 4:30. 5. I'll try it since we've got a lot of the new stuff caught up. We'll try and focus on some tickers for that market recap. I very much appreciate all of you guys for being here. Let me get you some tunes to go. Since today, what is today? Are we still down? We still down? Let me just see real quick here. How are things sitting? Let's look at the heat map. So Tesla down 1%. It's not too bad. Maybe it's a buy the dip day. I already did some dip buying, so I'm good. But that's the video maybe we'll go out with here today. We'll go out with the buy the dip. Buy the dip. Anyway, you guys take it easy. Love ya. Bye.
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.
Buy that fucking dip. Yeah. Buy that fucking dip. Oh. Buy that fucking dip. Dump it on the top and spit. Buy that shit. Buy that fucking dip. Yeah. Buy that fucking dip. Yeah. When it drops, better cop. Let it fucking rip. People love the pump. Yeah. Got them lining up. Wow. See us winning, FOMO in and YOLO by the top. Dream of Lamborghini. Girlfriend in bikini. Front covered Forbes magazines where you'll see me. Oh, what? How? Price went down. Who will save us now? Felt like a hero. Now the fear is here and it's clear as steering to zero. Yeah. Hands weak, bags heavy, and I'm ready to forget about already all the hopes and the dreams. So puke your position like mom spaghetti. I'm hungry and got long cash on the ready to just buy that fucking dip. Yeah. Buy that fucking dip. Oh. Buy that fucking dip. Dump it on the top and spit. Buy that shit. Buy that fucking dip. Yeah. Buy that fucking dip. Yeah. When it drops, better cop. Let it fucking rip. When there's people crying, that's when I'll be buying. Yeah. When they tell you their investment conviction is dying. Oh no. But the market's dead. Yeah. That's what TV man said. It's time to sell it, walk away and sit in cash instead. Pump, what? Price go up. Guess that's just your luck. Sold at the bottom a lot of you gotta learn how to hold on to whatever money you're gonna earn and not get shaken out when they run the stops. Although it tends to pretend to the dips and the bends, you know the trend is your friend all the way to the end. So I buy that fucking dip. Yeah. Buy that fucking dip. Oh. Buy that fucking dip. Dump it on the top and spit. Buy that shit. Buy that fucking dip. Yeah. Buy that fucking dip. Yeah. When it drops, better cop. Let it fucking rip. Buy that fucking dip. Yeah. Buy that fucking dip. Oh. Buy that fucking dip. Dump it on the top and spit. Buy that shit. Buy that fucking dip. Yeah. Buy that fucking dip. Yeah. When it drops, better cop. Let it fucking rip.
Wrong button.